Chapter 4871. Eastern Sage's rise was like a comet, shocking countless people. They quickly searched the area, but they didn't find anything. Damn it, what was going on? Why was Eastern Sage as mysterious as Mad God? These people were crazy. Which side's genius expert had appeared? Yi Wudao walked out of the Holy Gulf Tower with a smile on his face. Eastern Sage was naturally him. He had already guessed who Mad God was, so he had used his title to enter. Eastern Sage's name spread throughout holy distant ancient city once again. In an instant, the ancient families and great sects were shocked. Even the three great orthodoxies were in an uproar. The people of the Divine Union were guessing who this Eastern Sage was. After Lin Xian heard this, his lips curled into a smile. Eastern Sage? What a familiar name. Back in the quintessential world, the 5 young geniuses had their own titles. He was given the title of Middle Emperor, while Eastern Sage was naturally Yi Wudao. It had to be him. It seemed like there was no way to hide it. Where are Rizalong and Toad? Get them to prepare a congratulatory gift for me. I want to give it to Wudao. The Crimson Dragon flew over and said, I'll prepare it. Toad and Crimson Leaf have gone on a mission. Oh, what kind of mission was it? The current Divine Union was much stronger than it had been in the past, so most of the missions were carried out by other people. Who would have thought that Toad would go with Fu Hongyu and the rest this time? The Crimson Dragon said, not only that, but Lu Yuan, Nalan Liang, Yurun, and the rest are also going. Even Bai Susu is going. It seemed like it was a huge mission. Why didn't they call him? The Crimson Dragon rolled his eyes. Mad God, who would dare to call you when you were so busy? Lin Xian smiled and slapped him. Let's go and prepare the gift. We're going to meet Wudao. Lin Xian took out a spiritual medicine from the 4-Spirit Valley and sealed it before heading to the Sky Sect with the Crimson Dragon. The people of the Sky Sect were stunned when they saw Lin Xian. This guy actually dared to come. Those experts were also gnashing their teeth, but Lin Xian didn't care at all. He was here for a normal visit, so these people definitely wouldn't dare to make a move. As expected, no one dared to touch them. Lin Xian called for Leaf Dowdenier to arrive. I can't believe you two would come. What a rare sight. Come on. Leaf Dowdenier invited Lin Xian and Yang Qi inside. Leaf Dowdenier's mountain range was one of the top. After entering, Lin Xian took out the spiritual medicine and said, This is for you. Congratulations. You have officially entered the Holy Gulf list. Leaf Dowdenier laughed. It seems I really can't hide anything from you. Lin Xian said, Aren't I the same? You should have guessed it by now. Leaf Dowdenier nodded, and the two exchanged their experiences in the Sacred Abyss Tower. Leaf Dowdenier went on to say, Actually, if you hadn't come, I would have gone looking for you anyway. Something strange happened recently. What strange thing? Lin Xian was shocked. Leaf Dowdenier lowered his voice and said, Elder Tian Shui, you killed him. His corpse was brought back, but before he could be buried, it mysteriously disappeared. Lin Xian's pupils shrank when he heard this. The Crimson Dragon was also shocked. Who would want a corpse? What use would it be? Could it be that it had been turned into a puppet? If that was the case, then I'm not worried. I'm worried that it was that guy who did it. Lin Xian frowned and thought of a certain person. Are you talking about Yao Guang? He had encountered Yao Guang when he had clashed with the Violet Palace realm. At that time, Yao Guang had been very low-key and hadn't made a move. Instead, he had been hiding in the distance, collecting the corpses of various experts. Leaf Dowdenier nodded. That's right, it was him. According to the information I received, Yao Guang cultivated a forbidden divine ability, the heaven-devouring demonic art. It was actually that kind of martial art. The Crimson Dragon was also shocked. Wasn't that a technique that had been lost long ago? The damned Violet Palace realm even had such a thing. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He seemed to have heard about this from Qin Xianer. What exactly was going on? Yi Wudao said, speaking of which, the heaven-devouring demonic palace is somewhat related to you. Lin Xian was shocked. Yi Wudao continued, back then, there was a great emperor known as the heaven-devouring great emperor. It was said that he had grasped the devouring sword. The devouring law could extinguish everything. As the heaven-devouring great emperor, he wasn't a peak genius. In fact, he was just an ordinary person. Logically speaking, becoming a king should have been his limit. It was impossible for him to become a saint. However, he had accidentally obtained the devouring sword. Through devouring various experts and natural treasures, his constitution and talent were constantly changing. In the end, he swept through the world and became a great emperor. There were 3 of the most famous treasures. The devouring sword had existed before the heaven-devouring great emperor, so it was natural that countless people yearned for it. The heaven-devouring great emperor was also extremely terrifying. He had created 2 great treasures. The first was his self-created emperor's scripture, the heaven-devouring demonic art. This was a cultivation technique that he had created and evolved. After countless experiments, he had devoured all the geniuses in the world. In that era, experts from the primordial aristocratic families, great sects, and various sacred grounds were devoured by him. It could be said that he was the enemy of the entire world. However, the other party was truly terrifying. He had killed his way to the great emperor realm. Moreover, it was said that he was also a madman. In the end, he had even devoured himself. It was said that the heaven-devouring jar was made from his physique. Lin Xian was shocked when he heard this. The heaven-devouring great emperor, the heaven-devouring jar, the heaven-devouring demonic art. He had half of the heaven-devouring jar. It must be related to the heaven-devouring great emperor, and that Yao Guang had cultivated this forbidden technique, the heaven-devouring demonic art. It seemed that there would be a battle in the future. Lin Xian frowned. That Yao Guang definitely wanted the heaven-devouring jar. It seemed that he had to be careful in the future. The heaven-devouring demonic art was a forbidden technique in the emperor's scripture because it was too terrifying. Anyone who cultivated it would be an enemy of all the geniuses in the world. Therefore, no matter how strong Yao Guang was, he wouldn't dare to show it. He could only act in secret. Lin Xian and the others understood this. However, Yao Guang was from the Purple Palace. If the Purple Palace wanted to return to its peak, they would definitely support Yao Guang in secret. It seemed that they had to be more careful. Lin Xian said, "When I return, I will send people to keep an eye on the other party and gather information about him." Yi Wudao said, "The Yi family will also pay attention. After all, if the other party wanted to become a great emperor, Lin Xian and Yi Wudao would probably be his targets. How could they not pay attention?" Both parties conversed for a long time. A few days later, Lin Xian left. On the way back, Lin Xian asked the Crimson Dragon to prepare to send people from the Divine Union to gather information about Yao Guang. However, when they returned to the Divine Union, something unexpected happened. The entire Divine Union was shocked and in an uproar, everyone frantically searching for Lin Xian. When they saw Lin Xian return, the people around him were on the verge of tears. "Boss, this is bad. Something has happened. What's going on?" Lin Xian's expression changed. He immediately summoned the heavenly void beast and teleported them back to the Divine Union. After returning, a white-robed figure flew over and cried, "Lin Xian, this is bad. Something big has happened." Chapter 4872. Lin Xian was stunned when he heard this. He did not even recognize the person in front of him. Soon he realized that it was Bai Susu. What was wrong with her? Her white clothes were stained with snow, and there was blood on her face. Someone had attacked Bai Susu. Lin Xian was in disbelief. Bai Susu's father was the levitation saint. an elder of the True Path sect. His position was much more terrifying than Elder Tianshui's. Who would dare to attack Bai Susu? What was going on? Don't panic, tell me slowly, Lin Xian said. At the same time, he took out many elixirs and gave them to Bai Susu. Bai Susu said that she was not injured and that the blood on her body was not hers. It was the enemy's. However, she had escaped, and they were in trouble. They had all been captured. Who were they? Lin Xian furrowed his brows tightly. The Crimson Dragon exclaimed. Could it be Hongya, Toad, and the rest? Lin Xian's expression changed. The Crimson Dragon had said that Bai Susu and the rest had gone on a huge mission. Many experts had been mobilized, and only Bai Susu had returned. Could the rest have been suppressed? Bai Susu was right. Toad, Fu Hongya, Lu Yuan, Nalan Liang, and Yuren had all been captured. Apart from them, the other members of the Divine Union had all been killed. Lin Xian was instantly enraged. He understood that someone had attacked the Divine Union. Who was the enemy? His eyes were filled with killing intent. In an instant, the 9 heavens were shattered. He was really angry. Previously, he had destroyed the 5th Elder's faction, ascended to the Sky Sect, and killed Elder Tianshui, shocking the ancient city. However, he had not expected that someone would be so reckless as to attack the Divine Union directly. Did they not want to live anymore? It was the Dragon Palace. Bai Susu sighed deeply as she recounted the matter to him. It turned out that the Dragon Palace had released this mission. Bai Susu and the rest had gone there, but had been ambushed along the way. The Dragon Palace had been waiting on the path they had to pass. They had set up a supreme killing array and taken various sacred weapons. For a moment, they suffered a heavy blow. The Dragon Palace had prepared meticulously and sent out too many experts. Therefore, even though Bai Susu, the Toad, and the others were strong, they were still suppressed. It was even suppressed since Bai Susu was the daughter of an elder. The people of the Dragon Palace did not dare to suppress her. Moreover, they needed someone to inform them. So, he released Bai Susu. As for the others, they were all suppressed, and some of them even died in battle. Lin Xian's eyes turned red after hearing this. The Crimson Dragon also roared. Damn it, we haven't even made a move yet, and they actually dared to attack first. Kill, he roared, and the people in the distance felt their scalps go numb. They were unable to act within the Tao sect, and they had to wait for us to leave the sect before they acted. If you go to the Dragon Palace now, the elders will mercilessly suppress you. Damn it, the Crimson Dragon roared. Lin Xian took a deep breath and tried to calm his killing intent. What about Hong Yi, Toad, and the others? Where was it suppressed? The current plan was not to take revenge, but to rescue the people first. These people had a special relationship with him, and he would not allow them to die. Bai Susu said, I think they are not in danger for the time being. Before they release me, they told me to come back and inform you. However, they will send someone to inform you of the details. I guess they are targeting you. Lin Xian's face turned cold. The Dragon Palace had been targeting him for a long time. However, it was impossible for an ordinary member to arrange such a meticulous plan and mobilize so many experts. It had to be a core member of the Dragon Palace. Who was it? He immediately thought of the Dragon Prince. He was afraid that only the Dragon Prince could mobilize so many experts. Susu, use your father's power to secretly investigate if the Dragon Prince was behind this. Bai Susu nodded, changed her clothes, and left quickly. Lin Xian ordered the people of the Divine Union not to leave the Tao sect for now. In the past, those who went out to carry out missions were to find a place to hide. The people of the Divine Union were also shocked. They had not expected to start a war with the Dragon Palace so soon. They quickly took action. This kid would definitely not let the Dragon Palace off this time. The Crimson Dragon gritted his teeth. Lin Xian's expression was also cold. He had said that he would not let them off. He had originally wanted to gather some strength before attacking the Dragon Palace. However, since they did not know what was good for them, he would let them know how powerful they were. Lin Xian decided that he would rescue Fu Hongye and the others at all costs. At the same time, he would not let off anyone who had participated in this attack. Bai Susu's actions were very fast. After all, her father was an elder. She used some of her power and quickly investigated. The Dragon Prince had a new cultivation partner. It was Lan Ziyu. Lan Ziyu had been introduced by Feng Long. In an instant, Lin Xian understood that Lan Ziyu must have teamed up with the Dragon Prince. Lin Xian had previously killed Lan Zilu and slapped Lan Ziyu hard in the face. Lan Ziyu wanted revenge, but he did not have the strength. He had not expected that Lan Ziyu would become the cultivation partner of the Dragon Prince. It seemed that Lan Ziyu did not need to exist anymore. There was still the Blue Tribe. Lin Xian's eyes were filled with killing intent. What should he do next? The Crimson Dragon gritted his teeth. Lin Xian said, "Wait. Wait for them to come and find us." During this period, they did not stay idle. They gathered a large amount of resources with the Crimson Dragon and started to set up the array. Lin Xian set up the spiritual transfer array, while the Crimson Dragon set up the killing array. 5 days later, someone finally came to find them. The person who came was called Lan Yu. She was a woman from the Blue Tribe and was Lan Ziyu's younger sister. Lin Xian, "Get out here." Lan Yu sneered. The people of the Divine Union were instantly enraged. Lin Xian was the leader of the Divine Union. How dare the other party be so arrogant? They rushed out and shouted coldly, "Do you want to die? Do you believe that we can suppress you?" Lan Yu stood outside the spiritual abode and sneered. The Divine Union was still so arrogant. Did they not want their friends' lives? Damn it, those people were gritting their teeth. They now knew that the core members of the Divine Union had been suppressed, and they were in a crisis, and their opponent was the Dragon Palace. Now that they saw the people from the Dragon Palace, they could not wait to kill them. Lin Xian waved his hand and stopped them. "I'm here." He walked out and stared at the other party. "You are Lin Xian?" Lan Yu was not afraid in the face of Lin Xian's cold gaze. This was the True Path sect. The other party would not dare to do anything to her. Moreover, the other party's friends were in their hands. The other party would have to be obedient. She sneered, "Go to the Black Devil Peak tomorrow night. If you are late, I'm afraid you will regret it for the rest of your life." Lin Xian frowned when he heard this. The Crimson Dragon roared. Bai Susu snorted coldly. "Aren't you afraid of the sect rules for attacking your own sect members?" Lan Yu smiled. "Why can't I understand what this sister is saying? Do you have any evidence of who we attacked? Don't think that you can talk nonsense just because you are the daughter of an elder." Chapter 4873. Bai Susu gritted her teeth in anger. She couldn't wait to tear Lan Yu's face apart. She had never seen such a shameless person. Lan Yu coldly snorted. She looked at Lin Xian and said, "Brat, listen carefully. This time, you can only go alone. If you discover anyone else, you'll bear the consequences." Lan Yu smiled proudly. Then she lifted her head proudly and was about to leave. At this moment, Lin Xian said coldly, "Hold on." Lan Yu turned around and frowned. She had a look of disdain on her face. "What else do you want? Do you want me to plead for you? Useless kid." She sneered coldly. Lin Xian didn't say anything, but his eyes were shining. In the next moment, Lan Yu hugged her head and screamed. Her face was pale. "Damn it! How dare you lay your hands on me? You violated the rules of the Dao Palace. Do you believe that I'll get the elders to suppress you?" She screamed crazily. In that instant, her soul had been pierced, and the pain was excruciating. Lin Xian smiled. "Do you have any proof that I laid my hands on you? Don't talk nonsense if you don't have any proof." Lan Yu was so angry that she wanted to vomit blood. Wasn't that what she had said to Lin Xian? She hadn't expected to be slapped in the face so quickly. Damn it, weren't you the one who injured my soul? This is the proof. Did I lay my hands on you? Lin Xian looked around and said. The disciples of the divine union shook their heads quickly. No, when did Boss Lin lay his hands on you? That's right. We're all watching. Boss Lin only glanced at you. Why, can we see it? Bai Susu sneered. How dare you be so arrogant when you can't even withstand a glance? As she said that, her eyes shone brightly. Immediately, Lan Yu screamed again. Although she was a member of the Dragon Palace, she had entered the Dragon Palace because of Lan Yu. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to enter given her strength. Bai Susu was a top-notch genius. How could Lan Yu possibly withstand her? Therefore, her soul was severely injured in an instant. She even knelt down instantly. Just you wait. Lan Yu screamed crazily and turned around to escape. Brat, don't you need to capture and collect her soul? They had definitely set up a trap. Lin Xian shook his head. She was so weak. How could she know the details of the plan? She was only a messenger. His guess was right. Lan Yu was only in charge of passing on a message. She didn't know anything. Bai Susu asked, What about you? Was he really planning to go alone? Why don't we just ask my father to do it? It's useless. They're well prepared. Moreover, so many of our friends are in their hands. If they split up, it'll be difficult to deal with them. The elders would only be able to save a portion of the people. The rest would most likely be killed immediately. And this time, it was the Dragon Crown Prince who did it. The Dragon Crown Prince must have the support of the elders. In addition, the Dragon Palace had the Dragon Emperor finger. It might even have the old ancestor as a backer. Therefore, it's better for me to go personally. Once he used the power of an elder, he would probably alarm an even more terrifying existence. Lin Xian felt that young people should solve their own problems. Ruzalong, give me all the killing formations you set up. I'll go by myself. You and Susu stay here to guard the house. During this period of time, don't let the people around you leave. All right, then you be careful. The Crimson Dragon gritted his teeth. Since the other party had specifically asked Lin Xian to go alone, his friends would be in danger. However, he wouldn't just sit around and wait for death. This matter wasn't only related to the Dragon Palace, but also the Blue Race. Since that was the case, he wouldn't spare the Blue Race. He immediately sent a message to the Black Sea's Dragon Race, asking them to mobilize their forces to attack the Blue Race. Those who dared to attack their people would have to pay the price. On the other side, Lin Xian moved. He left with the killing formations and the spirit transfer formation, Black Devil Peak, a sinister and terrifying place. This was an ancient battlefield. A fierce battle had once taken place, and countless experts had fallen. Therefore, the murderous aura here was extremely terrifying. 20,000 years ago, a dungeon had been secretly built here to suppress some terrifying experts. Later on, the dungeon was abandoned, but it still remained. At this moment, flames were lit in the dungeon again. The green flames danced with a strange light. Inside the dungeon, silhouettes stood one after another like gods and devils. At this moment, roars could be heard from inside. How dare you attack the divine union? We won't let you off. Just the likes of you dare to go against Long Gongquang? I can only say that you are courting death. Just you wait. It won't be just you. Soon, we will send that Lin Xian to hell. Damn it! Lu Yuan gritted his teeth. He was injured. Beside him were Nail and Liang and Yu Run. As for Toad and Fu Hongya, they weren't here. At the same time, they knew that the situation was dangerous. They had fallen into a trap, and these people had captured them to deal with Lin Xian. If Lin Xian really came here, it would be very dangerous. Calculating the time, it's about time. Men, bring them out for me. Bring them to Black Devil Peak. In front of them, a man with a cold figure, and the aura of the Dragon Tao was present. He was Wind Dragon. This time he was also in charge. He was followed by countless experts. He wanted to see how Lin Xian would escape this time. Lu Yuan, Nalan Liang, and Yurun were chained up and had their strength sealed. Hurry up and leave. One of them kicked Nalan Liang. Nalan Liang's body swayed, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Damn it! Lu Yuan also roared and ended up getting hit. Why? If you don't leave, I'll let you know what it's like to live a life worse than death. What are you staring at? Do you think you can still make a comeback? When Lin Xian comes, we'll finish him off and send you to hell together. They all sneered. Soon, they were brought out of the dungeon and arrived at the top of the Black Devil Peak. Feng Long was sitting on a throne in front of him, and he was swirling the exquisite spirit wine in his hand. He looked at the moon in the sky and sneered. Why hadn't that Lin Xian come yet? A woman beside him sneered. I think he doesn't dare to come. What Lin Wudi? How dare he give himself such an arrogant title? He doesn't have the qualifications to compete with our Dragon Palace. This woman was a proud daughter of the Golden Crow clan. She sneered. Lin Xian was a coward. If he dares to come, I can suppress him with one hand. You want to contend against Boss Lin with just you? You were mocked. You can't even compare to a finger of Boss. Are you trying to challenge me? Golden Crow Feather's face darkened. Someone slap him and knock his teeth out one by one. Soon, someone from the Dragon Palace sneered and attacked. With a slap, Yuren's face was smashed and his teeth flew to the ground. Damn it. Lu Yuan's eyes were red. Come at me if you have the guts. Boom. Golden Crow Feather's slap enveloped Lu Yuan, and the terrifying Golden Crow fire began to burn. Lu Yuan's body was charred black, and he screamed miserably. Stop! Nalan Liang roared crazily. Aren't you afraid that the mad god will come and kill you? The other party wasn't afraid of Lin Xian or the Nalan family. They could only use an even more powerful existence, the mad god. Chapter 4874. So what if Mad God is powerful? If he comes, someone will deal with him. Also, Mad God is only ranked 1,000 on the Saint Origin list. The founder of the Dragon Palace, the Dragon Prince, is ranked second on the Saint Origin list. Do you think the two of them can be compared? In front of the Dragon Prince, Mad God is just a worm. Ha ha! They laughed crazily. That's right, the founder of the Dragon Palace was the Dragon Prince, the Emperor's son. He was their greatest reliance. As long as the Dragon Prince was around, they would not be afraid of anyone except Kunpingzi. They did not care about Mad God at all. Why hasn't that kid come yet? Another expert of the Dragon Palace frowned. What if that kid is afraid of death and does not dare to come? Feng Long sneered. Fine, I'll kill one of his friends and send his head to the god's abode. If he doesn't come, I'll kill him again. I want to see how long he can endure. Hearing this, the pupils of Lu Yuan and the others constricted. Damn it, these people from the Dragon Palace are too despicable. Well, I think they don't dare to come. Then, let's choose one. Who should we kill? His gaze swept past the three of them. I'll kill you. Jin Wuyu stared at Lu Yuan and waved his hand. The golden crow flames in his hand turned into a saber, and he walked forward. I'll chop off your head and send it to the god's abode. I'm looking forward to what will happen when Lin Xian sees it. This is the result of following Lin Xian. Don't be the enemy of the Dragon Palace in your next life because you are not worthy. He raised his saber and was about to swing it down. Damn it! Nalan Liang and the merman beside him roared crazily. However, it was useless. Their bodies were sealed by the laws, and they could not resist at all. Were they really going to die? Lu Yuan roared. I've never regretted following Uncle Master. It's just that you guys are despicable and used dozens of times more power than us. One day, little Uncle Master will avenge me. Then he looked at Nalan Liang and Yurun. Brothers, let's meet again in the next life. I'll take my leave first. After saying that, he closed his eyes. You're courting death. Golden Crow Feather snorted coldly, and the saber in his hand fell. Cracks had already appeared on Lu Yuan's body. If this saber strike landed, he would definitely die. Boom! A deep voice rang out. The sea of flames spread out, and the void shattered. Nalan Liang and the merman were stunned. Was Lu Yuan dead? Although they hadn't known Willow Yuan for long, only a few years, they had carried out many missions together. They were friends who had gone through life and death together. Now that their friend had died in front of them, how could they bear it? No, these people's eyes instantly turned red, but when they looked to the side, they were stunned. This was because they realized that Lu Yuan wasn't dead. Lu Yuan was also stunned. He opened his eyes. I didn't die. He was stunned when he saw a hand grabbing his saber. Who was it? He looked up and saw a familiar face. Little Martial Uncle. Lu Yuan exclaimed. Boss Lin, Yurin and Nalan Liang also roared. On the other side, Golden Crow Feather's pupils shrank. Lin Xian, you've finally come. Boom. Lin Xian exerted force in his palm and broke the battle blade. A terrifying force spread out in all directions. Many large cracks appeared. Golden Crow Feather retreated. Feng Long stood up. The others also sneered. Their eyes were filled with killing intent. You're finally here. The show can begin. Lin Xian arrived. His expression was extremely cold, and there was even an extremely terrifying killing intent burning in his eyes. He saw that Lu Yuan and the other two were covered in injuries. It was obvious that they had been tortured. With a wave of his hand, the sealed chains on the three of them shattered. Lin Xian struck out with the immortality art, enveloping the three of them and helping them recover. At the same time, he took out pills and natural treasures. He said, You've suffered. Recover. I won't let go of anyone who attacked you. Little Martial Uncle, be careful. They have a lot of people. Yes, boss. Let's test them first. They've already set up an inescapable trap for you. This is a trap. Yurin also roared. They were very worried about Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, It's fine. No matter how many traps they have, I'll destroy them with my sword. I'm here today to avenge you. Boss. Little Martial Uncle. Lu Yuan and the other two's eyes instantly turned red. On the other side, Golden Crow sneered. So touching. I'm about to cry. But so what? Since you're so close, you can go to hell together. Golden Crow sneered, and the saber in his hand condensed again. Lin Xian was powerful and famous in the ancient city. But so what? This time, they had so many experts. Why would they be afraid of him? Even a great sage of the older generation would have to nurse a grievance if they were here. Lin Xian stared at him and said coldly, You wanted to kill my friend? That's right, I wanted to kill him. I wanted to chop off his head and tear him into pieces. Not only that, did you see that injury on that ant's face was also caused by me? I planned to knock out his teeth one by one. What can you do to me? Golden Crow sneered, not caring at all. Lin Xian's expression was as cold as water. In the next moment, his figure flashed and disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already in front of the other party. Buzz. The golden hand fell mercilessly. So fast. Golden Crow's pupils constricted. She did not expect the other party to be so fast. She retreated in shock, but soon she was furious. The other party dared to attack her. Go to hell. He slashed over with his saber. Clang. An earth-shaking sound was heard. The Golden Crow's slash hit the palm, making a clanging sound. However, it was instantly shattered. The huge golden hand pressed forward with an indomitable will, bringing with it a terrifying power and endless killing intent. Damn it, what a strong physique. Golden Crow was shocked. She formed a fist with her right hand and attacked. Is the 9-yang divine fire powerful? Look at my golden crow divine fire. She wanted to fight the other party in close combat. Boom, boom. The two palms collided, making thunderous sounds. Suddenly, a thunderous flame spread in all directions, but it was useless. Golden Crow screamed. Her palm was shattered, and her entire arm was fractured. He was too strong. The 9-yang divine body was the legendary starry sky physique. The 9-yang divine fire suppressed her golden crow fire and almost extinguished it. Damn it, the other party was stronger than her. Golden Crow could not believe it. What made her even more frightened was that the hand mercilessly grabbed her neck and lifted her up. Golden Crow wanted to resist in fear, but an extremely sharp aura came from the hand, and the terrifying death law poured into her body. It instantly sealed and shattered the meridians in her body. She felt that she could not use any of her strength. It was too terrifying. In the blink of an eye, Lin Xian suppressed Golden Crow Feather. The surrounding Dragon Palace people were still smiling. They did not react. By the time they reacted, they had already seen the scene in front of them. Damn it! Stop! You dare to attack our people! The Dragon Palace people were furious. There were so many of them here. If they allowed the other party to be arrogant, they would lose all face. So what if I attacked your people? Lin Xian snorted. He waved his hand and grabbed Golden Crow Feather's right arm like it was a piece of paper. Golden Crow Feather's arm was instantly torn off. Blood splattered and white bones appeared. Chapter 4875. Looking at this scene, the surrounding people were stunned. They did not expect Lin Xian to dare to attack. Who was Jin Wuyu? She was the top genius of the Dragon Palace and the pride of the Golden Crow tribe. She was the daughter of the tribe leader. Her status was extremely noble. If you dare to touch her, you're dead. An expert from the Dragon Palace roared. Lin Xian glanced at him and sneered. Then he waved his hand and tore the other arm apart. Jin Wuyu screamed in agony. Blood stained the sky and pierced through everything. Damn it. Do you know who I am? My father is the tribe leader of the Golden Crow tribe. Jin Wuyu screamed, crazily. Oh, really? But so what? Lin Xian laughed. With a wave of his hand, he turned Jin Wuyu's legs into a bloody mist. Jin Wuyu screamed in agony, causing the surrounding people to feel numb. Lin Xian was too arrogant. After knowing that the other party was the daughter of the tribe leader of the Golden Crow tribe, he still dared to attack. Was he looking down on the Golden Crow tribe? Finally, someone could not stand it anymore. Feng Long also stood up and said coldly, "Kid, let them go. Otherwise, I'll make sure you die without a burial place." Lin Xian glanced at him and sneered. "Do you have the right to do so?" Feng Long was furious. Did Lin Xian dare to challenge him? Men, capture his companions. I want him to see his friends go to hell with his own eyes. The surrounding people started to move. However, Lin Xian waved his hand, and the Great Sage Pagoda covered the three of them. All the attacks landed on the Great Sage Pagoda and shook the sky and earth. However, they could not break through the defense. Damn it, it's a great sage weapon. The surrounding people gritted their teeth. This guy really had many trump cards. He used a great sage weapon right off the bat. Many people's eyes turned red. Feng Long sneered. "After I kill you, the great sage weapon will be mine. Kid, let them go. Otherwise, the Golden Crow tribe will let you know the feeling of living a life worse than death." Another tall man walked out. He was also an expert from the Golden Crow tribe. It seemed that not only the people from the Dragon Palace of the Tao sect had attacked, but also the experts from their own sections. It was indeed an inescapable net. Let them go, or all your friends will die. No one who is related to you can live. When Lin Xian heard this, he was completely enraged. He hated it the most when people threatened him. He was even more annoyed when others threatened his friends and family. He couldn't take it anymore, and killing intent appeared in his eyes. You have committed an unforgivable crime. I will let you know the consequences of attacking the people around me. After he finished speaking, he waved his hand, and a terrifying force tore the golden crow feather into pieces. The golden crow feather's soul screamed and tried to escape, but it was pierced by Lin Xian's gaze. The reincarnation steel suppressed him. The golden crow feather's soul struggled madly. Lin Xian's voice was ice cold. Don't you like to bully others? Aren't you high and mighty? I'll let you know. What was despair? Samsara spring and autumn. Lin Xian activated his illusion technique and sucked the other party's soul into an illusion. For the next 10,000 years, you will suffer despair. A cold voice sounded. Everyone felt their scalps go numb. The powerhouse from the Golden Crow race was even more furious. You're courting death. He threw a punch over. Lin Xian snorted and pushed his palm horizontally, blocking the other party's palm. However, at this moment, the powerhouse from the Golden Crow race came to the side of the Golden Crow feather's soul. Wake up! With a loud shout, his power merged into the soul. However, it was useless. The illusion technique created by the heavenly secret divine eyes was not something that the other party could break. The Golden Crow feather's soul screamed crazily, and one look at it could make one faint. Damn it, quickly break her illusion technique. The powerhouse from the Golden Crow race roared crazily. Lin Xian shook his head and ignored him. At this moment, the Golden Crow feather's soul dissipated into thin air. The illusion technique created by Lin Xian had a strong time difference. A few seconds outside would be 10,000 years inside. Although there was a time difference, the other party's soul seemed to have suffered 10,000 years of despair and died in the most miserable way. No, the powerhouse from the Golden Crow race went crazy. The Golden Crow feather was dead. She was the daughter of the patriarch. In the Golden Crow race, she was like a little princess. But now, she was killed mercilessly. Was this guy crazy? Did he not leave any way out? The others also felt their hair stand on end. What kind of demon did they offend? Even Feng Long's pupils shrank. The other party's methods were too terrifying. They had to kill him. Otherwise, no one would have an easy time in the future. He stood up and waved his hand. Immediately, the powerhouses charged over. The Golden Crow race's great sage was the first to bear the brunt. He threw out a palm, and a vast power slammed toward Lin Xian. The Golden Crow divine fist could destroy heaven and earth. At the same time, 3 other powerhouses from the Dragon Palace attacked. One of them was a sea serpent that carried the monstrous power of the sea. The other was surrounded by lightning. He was the Thunder King. The last person was surrounded by rocks. The entire land was under his control. The 4 powerhouses attacked together, and the sky fell and the earth cracked. This time, the other party should be dead. The people from the Dragon Palace sneered. Lin Xian's expression was incomparably cold. Kill. He threw out a punch. The 6 paths divine fist collided with the powerhouse from the Golden Crow race. The Golden Crow race's great sage's palm was shattered. He retreated covered in blood. Lin Xian attacked again. The 5 elements law gathered and attacked the sea serpent. It turned into an invisible mountain and directly suppressed the sea serpent. The sea serpent's body was broken into 2. He retreated in fear. It was too powerful. It was not over yet. The other 2 had already charged over. The Earth Saint King roared and threw out a punch. This punch could break the sky. Boom. The sky fell and the earth cracked. The punch landed on Lin Xian's body. The Earth Saint King laughed. What, Lin Wudi? Didn't he turn into ashes in my hands too? Your fist is too weak. At this moment, a cold voice was heard. The Earth Saint King's pupils shrank. How could it be? He saw a golden figure appear in the shattered space in front of him. His fist landed on the other party's body, but it did not cause any damage. Damn it, what kind of physique was that? Damn it, Earth Divine Fist. He waved his fist and smashed it like a meteor. Lin Xian, on the other hand, lashed out with a kick. With a crack, his opponent's arm was broken. Not only that, he kicked the other party away. The Earth Saint King retreated like a kite. He crashed into hundreds of mountains and fell into the ruins. Half of his body was broken, and he could not stand up. Within 3 moves, Lin Xian had injured 3 great holy kings. The 4th person, who looked like the god of thunder, was stunned in midair. Lin Xian looked at the other party and smiled. His eyes shone with golden light. "Kneel," he shouted coldly. It was like the roar of a god. The god of thunder's body swayed, and he knelt on the ground in fear. In an instant, he came back to his senses and jumped up. He shouted angrily, "You're courting death." Lin Xian laughed. "What powerhouses of the Dragon Palace? You're just a bunch of ants. Come at me together. None of you can leave here alive today." Chapter 4876. Damn it, I won't let you off. Lightning God's Saber. The Lightning God Sage was completely enraged. He unleashed a peerless saber with terrifying destructive power. Boom. Lin Xian used the 6-path fist and punched forward, shattering the Lightning God's saber. The Lightning God Sage's body was also pierced through by the punch. He fell from the sky, his face pale and his eyes filled with despair. Was the difference that big? He was an expert of the Dragon Palace, but he couldn't even block a punch from Lin Xian. And Lin Xian stomped his opponent into a bloody mist. His soul was once again locked onto by the spring and autumn cycle. After 10,000 years of despair, he died. The surrounding people were stunned. They couldn't believe it. The experts they brought were terrifying. The 4 of them attacked together, but they couldn't do anything to Lin Xian. Instead, they were instantly suppressed. What kind of power was this? Let's kill him together. At this moment, another middle-aged man walked out and shouted coldly. Beside him, there were many experts from the blue race. Their bodies emitted terrifying ice, freezing the world. People from the blue race. Lin Xian looked at him and sneered. The middle-aged man gritted his teeth. "That's right. I'm Lonzilla's father. You dare to kill Zilu? Today, I'll send you to hell to apologize to Zilu. That's right, you don't have to live anymore." Another powerful figure walked out. An expert from the Wind Dragon race. His huge wings were like dark clouds that could destroy the world. Behind him, there were also experts from the dragon race. There was no need to hold back against him. "Take out whatever techniques you have." The Wind Dragon said coldly. He felt that the other party was strange and wanted to end the battle quickly. Hearing this, the experts from the Wind Dragon race nodded. They roared at the sky and condensed their bloodline. It formed a Wind Dragon spear. It released a terrifying bloodline suppression. On the other side, the middle-aged man from the blue race sneered. He took out an ice mountain and attacked together. The experts of the blue race behind him focused all their energy on the ice mountain. This was a great sage artifact. At this moment, it was filled with endless power and was extremely powerful. With a light wave, the world was frozen. "Let's see how you're going to die this time." The surrounding people all laughed wildly. With a wave of the ice mountain, an earth-shattering power descended. The Wind Dragon spear was powerful enough to pierce through everything. The 2 great sage tools rushed towards Lin Xian to kill him. The void around Lin Xian shattered unceasingly. Even the divine fire on his body was suppressed. Humph! In the face of such a powerful attack, Lin Xian coldly snorted. With a wave of his hand, the Great Destruction Spear appeared, releasing a destructive aura. The destructive power rushed towards the Wind Dragon Spear. At the same time, he spun his left hand, and a Taiji diagram appeared. Boom, boom, the sound of an intense collision rang out. The people from the Blue Clan and the Wind Dragon Clan sneered. Useless brat, you can't resist at all. They were very confident in their weapons. With a loud bang, the Wind Dragon Spear was sent flying by the Great Destruction. The experts of the Wind Dragon Clan also vomited blood. Countless cracks appeared on their bodies. Many of them turned into blood mist and died. Damn it, how is this possible? They were terrified. What kind of weapon was this? Was it more terrifying than the weapon formed by their bloodline? On the other side, the people from the Blue Clan also roared in fear. The Taiji diagram spun, breaking open the sky and the earth. Terrifying Yin and Yang Qi descended. The ice couldn't resist at all. Many of the Blue Clan's people turned into white bones. You want to kill me with just these methods? You're too weak. If you don't have any other methods, I'll send you to hell. Lin Xian coldly snorted. With a wave of his hand, 9 killing arrays appeared and covered the entire sky. Lin Xian formed a seal with his palms, and the killing arrays were activated. Terrifying lightning descended from the 9 heavens, turning into lightning dragons that bared their fangs and brandished their claws. The terrifying fire array turned into a fire phoenix that covered the sky. There was also a poison array, frost array, sword array, and saber array. The 9 killing arrays were activated at the same time. It was powerful to the extreme. In an instant, the people from the Dragon Palace let out miserable cries. Many of them were instantly pierced and torn to pieces. The people from the Blue Clan and the Wind Dragon Clan were also heavily injured and vomited blood. Damn it, the Wind Dragon Clan's eyes instantly turned red. He hadn't even made a move, but the other party had already thrown out the killing arrays. Quick, activate our arrays. They had been setting up here for so long. How could they not have any killing arrays? In an instant, 24 killing arrays were activated, covering the sky and the earth, sweeping through everything. They blocked Lin Xian's 9 killing arrays. Damn it, these 9 killing arrays were so terrifying. The Wind Dragon Clan's face was gloomy. The number of killing arrays they had was twice that of the other party, but they were still tied. It was hard to imagine. Kill, he roared, and the people around him rushed over. Lin Xian coldly snorted. With the Great Destruction in his hand, he attacked aggressively as if he had turned into a demon. With one attack, the bodies of 7 figures were stretched taut, and their souls were destroyed. Then, with another attack, 3 figures were nailed to death in the void. Lin Xian attacked boldly and powerfully. Every time his attack landed, there would be experts who would fall. Damn it, was he the Grim Reaper? How could he be so powerful? The people around him felt their scalps go numb. They didn't dare to go forward. Lin Xian coldly snorted. He definitely wouldn't let these people go. With a stomp of his foot, he rushed forward and charged towards the Blue Clan. If you want to avenge Lon Zillow, I'm standing right here. Go ahead. The middle-aged man was scared out of his wits. Damn it, you dare to touch me? Lin Xian sneered and slapped out, sending the man flying. Half of his face was shattered. Kill him for me, the middle-aged man roared. The surrounding powerhouses of the Blue Clan roared angrily. World-destroying frost. These people attacked together, unleashing a terrifying ultimate technique. The Blue Clan was a top-tier clan. The world-destroying frost was an ultimate technique created by an old ancestor of the Blue Clan. This old ancestor was extremely terrifying. He had once conquered all the worlds in the universe. With this technique, he sealed an entire world in ice. All of the living beings in that world had been sealed. This technique became famous in the world from then on. At this moment, with all of them attacking together, they could definitely seal the other party in ice. Crack, crack, crack. Ice appeared on Lin Xian's body. Even the 9 suns' divine fire was frozen. Half of his body was sealed in ice, and it was spreading to his entire body. Soon, his entire body became an ice sculpture. The middle-aged man looked up to the sky and laughed. Ha 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 ha, I'm going to avenge Lon Zilu personally. He walked over with the killing sword in his hand. Before the killing sword landed, the ice in front of him changed. The ice sculpture shattered, and cracks appeared on it. It spread like a spider web. Then, it scattered on the ground. Lin Xian walked out and grabbed the other party's head with one hand. If you want to take revenge, do it in your next life. He waved his hand and twisted the other party's head. Poof! Blood dyed the sky. No, the eyes of the Blue Clan members turned red as they charged forward. Lin Xian waved the yin-yang image and enveloped more than 10 figures. Those people were pierced by the yin-yang sword. Some turned into bones, while others were nailed to death in the void. Chapter 4877. Lin Xian struck out forcefully and killed all of them. A sea of blood spread, and the surrounding people went crazy. At this moment, a cold light flashed over, and 3 killing swords quickly pierced through. They were 3 experts of the Wind Dragon clan. They merged with the wind and were extremely fast. 3 sharp blades slashed at Lin Xian's vital points. An earth-shattering sound rang out. Lin Xian was forced back, and cracks appeared on his body. The 3 of them were overjoyed. Great, they could take his life while he was injured. However, in the next moment, they quickly retreated in fear. They realized that Lin Xian's cracked body had recovered in an instant. Not only did his aura not weaken, but it also became stronger. Lin Xian launched a thunderous attack, and the Great Destruction Spear enveloped the 3 of them. The 3 of them screamed and turned into a bloody mist. Only 3 broken blades fell from the sky. Next, Lin Xian killed his way into the Wind Dragon clan and attacked crazily. The experts of the Wind Dragon clan fell one after another. The Wind Dragon was finally angry. Kid, you deserve to die. Senior, please help. The Wind Dragon respectfully asked for help from the void. The void broke open, and a few figures walked out. One of them had a cold aura. It was an old man with his hands behind his back. His eyes were like lightning, forming a sea of lightning. Young man, surrender. You're no match for us. An older generation great sage. Inside the great sage tower, Lu Yuan and the others' expressions changed. They didn't care about those people before at all, because they believed in Lin Xian's strength. Those people couldn't threaten Lin Xian. But now that an older generation great sage had appeared, the situation was probably not good. Sure enough, this great sage waved his hand, and the surrounding killing arrays shattered. Then he pointed at Lin Xian. Lin Xian felt a huge pressure. It surged towards him. The surrounding void shattered continuously, and even his body started to sway. This old man was a little scary. His strength was equivalent to the 5th elder. It wasn't over yet. After him, another old man walked out. His strength was not weaker than this one at all. This old man's body was covered in flames. It was actually a fire crow. The 2 veteran great saints attacked and tore apart the 9 killing formations that Lin Xian had brought. Lin Xian was also knocked back by the scepter and spat out a mouthful of blood. Cracks appeared on his body, but they were quickly repaired by the immortality art. Seeing this, Feng Long burst into laughter. Kid, do you see this? This is the foundation of our Dragon Palace. We can summon a lot of great sages at any time. Can you do that? Now, obediently kneel on the ground and kowtow, waiting for me to deal with you. If I'm in a good mood, I can leave your corpse intact. Otherwise, I'll let you know what it means to live a life worse than death. The surrounding people sneered. Once again, they felt that Lin Xian was dead for sure. That Taoist Huya shouted coldly. I heard that you have the mad god behind you, and that you are very arrogant. Where is he? Tell him to come out and suppress him. Mad god? Invincible Lin? They couldn't withstand a single blow. The other great sage sneered as well. The two of them walked forward like gods and devils. Everywhere they passed, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. I've said that no one who attacks me today can leave alive. Since you two old farts are willing to attack, I'll fulfill your wish. The two great sages were stunned. Fire Crow, great sage, laughed. Kid, do you think this is the True Path sect? In the True Path sect, we can't attack you. But here, if you die, no one will know that we killed you. We can attack without any scruples. Without any scruples? That's great, because I don't want others to know about my trump cards. Lin Xian sneered. Then he waved his hand, and 5 spirit conversion arrays flew out and entered the ground. They began to convert the energy of the entire world. Oh no, this kid is going to use his trump card. The surrounding people of the Dragon Palace felt the change in the ground, and their expressions changed. However, the two great sages sneered. Don't worry, with the two of us here, he can't hurt you even if he has thousands of tricks. The two of them attacked again, and directly enveloped Lin Xian. In an instant, that place was turned into a black hole. Even the starlight of the universe scattered in. Seeing this, the two great sages laughed proudly. Wind Dragon snorted. I thought Lin Woody was powerful, but he's just an ant. Let's see who dares to go against the Dragon Palace in the future. Fire Crow Daoist frowned. Is he dead? What a pity. I heard that this kid has the 9 Yang divine body. I wanted to capture him and ask for the secret of the 9 Yang divine body. Another great sage said, Don't worry, as long as there's a trace of his soul left, I have the means to ask. He formed a seal with his palms, and many soul chains flew out, trying to suppress the broken soul. Boom. However, at this moment, a sword light flashed and broke the soul chains. Not only that, half of the great sage's body was split open and turned into a bloody mist. He screamed and retreated. Who dares to sneak attack me? He's crazy. Fire Crow sage's pupils shrank. The others were even more shocked. Could it be that Mad God is here? So what if he's here? Fire Crow Daoist roared. The flames on his body surged into the sky and turned into thousands of crows, sweeping in all directions. Each of them was a peerless divine ability that could destroy everything. Mad God, get out here. Let me suppress you. He roared. Buzz. No one answered him. The only answer he got was a sword. The peerless sword split open the flames that filled the sky. Fire Crow Daoist's pupils shrank. He felt a fatal danger and quickly retreated. However, one of his arms turned into a bloody mist and couldn't be restored. Puff. Fire Tooth Great Sage dodged the attack, but the surrounding people of the Dragon Palace didn't. Hundreds of figures turned into a bloody mist under the sword. Their bodies and souls were destroyed. Damn it, who are you? The two great sages roared crazily. Even Wind Dragon was terrified. Didn't you want to kill me? You don't even know who I am? A cold laugh was heard as Lin Xian walked out with the dragon sword in his hand. How is that possible? It's you? The two great sages were shocked. Wind Dragon also exclaimed, It's not Mad God, it's Lin Xian. Lin Xian has such power. Is this a joke? Damn it, what's that dragon sword in his hand? Is it in front of me? But why is it so powerful? Could it be a legendary sacred weapon? They didn't know. However, at this moment, the ground beneath their feet shattered. Several spirit veins dried up and shattered. Wind Dragon sucked in a breath of cold air. What was going on? Even if they had set up a formation, it was impossible for them to use up the power of the spirit veins so quickly. Fire Crush Great Sage exclaimed, I know he entered the formation just now and is crazily absorbing the power. He relied on this power to be able to use his trump card Destroy the formation quickly, and he won't be able to use that sword again. Chapter 4878. Kid, we have already discovered your secret. You will definitely die next. Wind Dragon roared. Lin Xian snorted coldly. So what if they found out? A dead man won't reveal my secret. As he said that, he slashed out with his sword again. The ground below shattered. Another spirit vein shattered into pieces, losing all of its energy. Great Sage Hui Yun's pupils constricted. How terrifying was that? One had to know that setting up more than 20 top-notch killing arrays didn't consume much energy, but now, a single slash consumed a supreme-grade spirit vein. What kind of sword is that? Retreat. He retreated frantically, but he realized that he couldn't escape at all. Damn it, block it. Waving the scepter in his hand, he ignited the laws as if he had turned into a peerless divine beast. He was extremely powerful. Its power increased to the limit, and it was almost close to the mid-stage of the Grand Sage realm. However, it was useless. With a single slash, his body began to crack, and with a bang, he turned into a bloody mist. With a single slash, his heart and soul were destroyed. Is he dead? Wind Dragon's pupils constricted. The other great sage's eyelids twitched. It's too terrifying. Run. However, Lin Xian slashed out again. On the ground below, the spirit vein shattered again. No, you can't kill me. That great sage wanted to say something, but with this slash, his body and soul were completely destroyed. Kill. The long sword swept out, and the people around him fell one after another. I hate it. How could he have such a trump card? The people around him roared crazily. Wind Dragon also went crazy and quickly dodged. They had originally set up a trap to kill the other party, but who would have thought that this trap would trap them instead? Now, none of them could escape. Instead, they were mercilessly killed by the other party. Boom. In the end, the surrounding figures fell, and only 3 figures were still standing there. One of them was Wind Dragon, and the other 2 were also top geniuses. Their faces were filled with despair. They were confident that they could kill a mid-stage great sage when they set up this inescapable trap, but now they couldn't do anything to the other party. Crack! The surrounding mountains kept shattering, the ground cracked, and the supreme-grade spirit vein was torn apart. Lin Xian frowned slightly. On the other side, Feng Long was overjoyed. This was great. All the spirit veins had been destroyed. This brat had no more strength left. They laughed complacently. Brat, without that sword, how are you going to fight us? They felt like they had seen hope. Although most of the people had died, only the 3 of them had survived. But so what? As long as he could kill the other party and obtain the sword, he would be able to kill the other party. All the losses were more than enough to make up for. Lin Xian laughed. It was too early for them to be happy. Even without the great dragon sword spirit, killing all of them would be as easy as flipping his hand. Furthermore, none of you are worthy of me using the great dragon sword. What? Great dragon sword? Was it the legendary great dragon sword? Feng Long's pupils shrank as he cried out in alarm. No wonder it was so powerful. This brat actually had such a treasure. You don't deserve such a treasure. It should belong to the Dragon Prince. The 3 of them roared crazily. Let's go and inform the Dragon Prince. Let the Dragon Prince kill him. Only an existence like the Crown Prince would be able to use such a supreme divine sword. Besides, the Dragon Prince could kill this kid with just 1 finger. The 3 of them wanted to retreat. Lin Xian sneered. You want to leave? Can you leave? With a wave of his hand, endless black vortexes appeared around them, swallowing the sky and earth, blocking their path. Damn it! Feng Long said that he couldn't use the great dragon sword spirit. We can kill him too. If we have the power of the great dragon sword, Our future achievements won't be inferior to the Dragon Prince. The eyes of the three of them turned red. Attack. The two of them instantly rushed over, but Feng Long quickly retreated. The corners of his mouth curled up into a cold smile. Six-path fist. Light of the demonic god. Taiji diagram. Lin Xian used 3 ultimate techniques in a row to fight against the 2 experts. The 2 of them vomited blood and were sent flying. Their bodies were shattered, and their eyes were filled with despair. Why didn't Feng Long make a move? Lin Xian sneered. How could he not know that he had been used as a knife by others? Damn it, I hate it. They realized that Feng Long had already escaped. The 2 of them had been tricked by him. Trying to escape? Lin Xian snorted. A pair of yin-yang wings appeared on his back. He used the skywalk step, and his speed was extremely fast. Feng Long was still sneering. With the power of his wind, and the 2 of them blocking him, he could definitely escape. Sure enough, he broke through the defense line and escaped outside. However, when he turned around, he saw a figure following him closely. Where are you going? Lin Xian snorted. Not good. Feng Long stopped, dumbfounded. How could the other party's speed keep up with him? One had to know that he was extremely confident in his speed. In his opinion, other than the top geniuses of the Light Clan, no one could compete with him in speed. But now, the other party was not inferior to him at all. If you have any last words, leave them. Lin Xian looked at him and said coldly. Feng Long gritted his teeth. Damn it, he didn't make a move. Instead, he knelt on the ground with a plop. Lin Gongzi, please spare me. I had no choice. It's the Dragon Prince. The Dragon Prince said that he wants to kill you. What can I do? I can only follow his orders. He kept kowtowing. Please spare my life. You had no choice. Lin Xian sneered. While kowtowing, Feng Long's eyes were cold. In his opinion, the other party had been deceived by him. He suddenly raised his head. Go to hell. Wind Shadow Thorn. 2 rays of light, formed by the dragon horns, tore through everything like peerless weapons and attacked Lin Xian's heart and head. Lin Xian sneered and dodged instantly. At the same time, he kicked out. Feng Long raised his hand to block. With a clang, he was forced back. His arm was numb. The dragon horn transformed into a wind thorn, which was held in his hand. Boy, do you really dare to kill me? Don't you see that only a few of your companions are left? There are a few others in other places. If you kill me, your companions will die without a doubt. If you let me go now, I promise to let bygones be bygones. Our previous grudges can also be resolved. How about it? No. Lin Xian shook his head. I've said it before. If you make a move on my friends, all of you will die. What did you say? Feng Long was angry. Don't you care about the life and death of your friends? Aren't you afraid that we will make a move? Lin Xian smiled. You think too highly of yourself and underestimate me. I want to save my friends. There's no need to go through so much trouble. There are some ways. So, you can go to hell in peace. Lin Xian waved the Great Destruction Spear and charged forward. It was like a black dragon breaking through the 9 heavens. Feng Long was completely angry and roared. He waved the wind thorn and fought. After 3 moves, he was forced to retreat. Damn it! How could he be so powerful? He roared at the sky and let out a dragon's roar. As a top genius of the Wind Dragon clan, his bloodline could definitely suppress the other party. Chapter 4879. The Wind Dragon's bloodline erupted, and the sky was filled with dragon shadows. It was truly terrifying. Lin Xian snorted coldly. You want to compare bloodlines with me? What a joke. He used his 10,000 dragon divine blood, and dragon shadows appeared behind him one after another. There was a terrifying Tyrannosaurus Rex, a roaring sword dragon, and a soaring lightning dragon. A fire dragon that destroyed everything in its path. One dragon shadow after another swept across the sky. The wind dragon kept retreating, spitting out large mouthfuls of blood. His face was filled with shock. This was impossible. How could the other party summon so many dragon shadows? Damn it, what kind of bloodline was this? Why hadn't he seen it before? Who exactly were you? He roared crazily. However, Lin Xian sneered. The great destruction in his hand continued to attack. The wind dragon's body was shattered, leaving only his head behind. No, you can't kill me. You still have a few companions in my hands. If you kill me, they won't live. Lin Xian sneered and pierced through the wind dragon's head. He grabbed the wind dragon's soul and used his heavenly secret divine eyes to collect it. Soon, he snorted coldly and threw the soul into the heaven-devouring jar. It was constantly destroyed and turned into nothingness. With a wave of his hand, the great sage pagoda was retracted, and Lu Yuan and the other two walked out. When they saw the mountains of corpses and seas of blood around them, they were shocked. Then they sneered. Good job. These people were too despicable. Thank you, boss, for taking revenge for us. They were very emotional. Lin Xian nodded. No one can bully us. Lu Yuan, the three of you clean up the battlefield here. Take away all the storage rings of these people that can be used. Also, seal the heads of Wind Dragon and the others for me. Lin Xian ordered. Lu Yuan nodded. Yuren said, Boss, what about the others in their hands? Lin Xian said, Leave this to me. After saying that, he soared into the sky and flew into the distance. Indeed, Fu Hongye and the toad were still in the hands of the other party. The wind dragon was right about that. However, Lin Xian didn't care. He had already found the information from the wind dragon's soul. Now that he knew the location, he was preparing to head there. In the canyon, Fu Hongyu and the toad were also chained up and injured. The toad roared, Damn it! Once I get out of here, I'll tear you all to pieces. A man from the dragon palace sneered and stepped on the toad. Do you think a toad like you can make a comeback? You're all going to die, and that Lin Xian won't be able to live either. The toad was enraged and roared crazily. Hongye's expression was cold as well. Little Uncle Master would definitely not lose. Ignorant, a senior great sage walked over. With our lineup, even a mid-stage great sage would die without a doubt. Furthermore, we've already scouted Mad God's whereabouts. He won't appear at all, so you're all dead for sure. Damn it! Fu Hongye roared. The people of Dragon Palace laughed. However, at this moment, a figure descended from the sky. Someone was coming. The great sage stopped laughing, and everyone else looked as if they were about to face a great enemy. When they saw the man, they heaved a sigh of relief. So it was young Master Wind Dragon. The great sage smiled. Wind Dragon nodded, looked around, and said, Where is he? Of course, this was not the real Wind Dragon. The real Wind Dragon had been killed by Lin Xian. This was the Wind Dragon that Whitey had transformed into. Whitey had eaten the transformation fruit before and could transform into various forms. That was why Lin Xian was not worried. Here, these two guys are stubborn. I've already taught them a lesson. Feng Long left. When he saw the wounds on Fu Hongye and Toad's bodies, a cold glint appeared in his eyes. Then he said, Let them go. That wasn't good. What if they ran away? Wind Dragon laughed. There were so many people here. How could they run away? Also, gather everyone here. We're leaving. Where is the young master going? These people had no doubts. After all, the dragon chi on the other party was monstrous and filled with the law of wind. Aren't you asking too many questions? Wind Dragon's face darkened. There are some things that only the core members know. Don't you believe me? Of course not. The powerhouses of the Dragon Palace shook their heads. The great sage also waved his hand, let out a long howl, and began to gather. Soon, the people hiding in the dark also walked out one after another. Could it be that these people want to deal with Uncle Master together? Fu Hongye's expression was ugly. The toad roared, "Let me go if you have the guts. I'll slap you to death." He stared at Wind Dragon. Wind Dragon smiled and ignored him. He turned around and stared at the senior great sage. With a wave of his hand, he took out a gourd. "Do you know what this is?" The senior great sage was stunned. Then he shook his head. Wind Dragon's lips curled into a smile. "Baby, please turn around." As his voice fell, the purple gourd turned around. A light soared into the sky and directly slashed the senior great sage. Pooh! The veteran great saint didn't even have time to scream before he perished. "Damn it, what's going on? Wind Dragon, are you crazy? You actually attacked your own people." Roars sounded one after another. Wind Dragon laughed out loud. Then his body bloomed with light, and he turned into a little monkey. "Yah, you're all bad people. Damn it, what's going on? Who are you?" The powerhouses of the Dragon Palace were dumbfounded. Wasn't that Wind Dragon? Why did he turn into a dead monkey? "Oh no, we've been tricked. It's not Wind Dragon. He's the monkey beside Lin Xian." Someone had seen him before and immediately roared. Fu Hongye and the Crimson Dragon's eyes also lit up. Was Lil White here? Lin Xian must be here too. In the next moment, a figure flew down from the sky. "Do you still want to escape? All of you stay here." Lin Xian waved his hand, and the sky-devouring jar created a terrifying vortex that sealed the surroundings. "It's Lin Xian. Kill him." The powerhouses of the Dragon Palace roared crazily. "Die." Lin Xian waved his hand, and 3 spirit arrays were cast into the ground. In an instant, all the power of the spirit veins under the ground was converted to the great dragon sword soul. The great dragon sword soul flew out, and every attack was like a resurrected dragon. With one attack, half of the Dragon Clan powerhouses died instantly. "Oh no, he has a peerless treasure. Let's go." The others roared crazily. There was even a veteran great sage who opened the sky with his palms to resist the black vortex. They wanted to escape. How could Lin Xian let them leave? Another 2 swords fell, destroying everything. The surrounding sky collapsed, and the earth cracked. The power of the spirit veins instantly dried up and fell apart. The spirit arrays were also shattered. How terrifying! That was the great dragon sword soul. Hongye and Hongye were shocked. One had to know how terrifying the power here was, but now they were killed by 3 swords. Not a single one was left alive. Of course, the great dragon sword soul required a terrifying amount of power. 3 swords made all the spiritual power in this world disappear. Even a great sage would have dried up long ago. It felt like an emperor weapon. Chapter 4880. "Kid, you're finally here. You should have let me kill them." The toad roared. Lin Xian took out a king medicine from the sword world, split it into 2, and gave it to the 2 of them to eat. After the 2 of them ate it, their injuries would heal and recover. The toad's eyes lit up. "Damn, kid, where did you get such a treasure?" Even Fu Hongye was shocked. Could this be a 10,000-year-old elixir? It was too extravagant. Lin Xian shook his head. He had never been stingy with his own people. He had said that he had killed all those who had tried to attack him today. Lu Yuan and the rest were also saved by me. However, this matter is not over. I will destroy the Dragon Palace one day. That's right. I will fight them to the death. The toad gritted its teeth and roared. The 3 of them cleaned up the battlefield and put away the undamaged storage rings. Then they left to meet up with Lu Yuan and the rest. Lin Xian summoned the void beast and opened a space tunnel. The group quietly returned to the divine abode. The divine abode was anxiously waiting. I wonder how Lin Xian is doing? Bai Susu said. The Crimson Dragon also frowned. Why don't we send someone to take a look? Bai Susu nodded. Anyway, the Dao sect has become extremely lively. They probably don't have time to care. Indeed, the Dao sect's grand meeting would begin in 3 days. Now, many experts from all over the Dao sect had rushed over. The people of the Dragon Palace were also busy preparing, so they really didn't have much energy to pay attention to them. Just as they were about to head over, a space vortex appeared in the divine abode. Then, a few figures walked out. Great, they're back. Bai Susu heaved a sigh of relief when he saw this scene. The Crimson Dragon also hurriedly flew over. How are you? Are you all right? They were all extremely nervous. Lin Xian walked out and said, We're all back safely. The toad roared, This is infuriating. Lu Yuan and the rest also said that they were injured and that their lives were not in danger. However, it was a pity for the other brothers. Indeed, besides them, there were more than 20 geniuses from the Divine Union who had been following them this time. However, they had all died in battle. Bai Susu clenched her fists tightly. She swore that she would definitely get her revenge. The Crimson Dragon said, That's right, we will make them pay with blood. This must be repaid. Everyone still needs to improve their strength. In addition, we must pay attention to not fall into the trap of the Dragon Palace in the future. Everyone nodded. Lin Xian asked, Susu, why are there so many people outside? He realized that there were too many people from the Dao sect. There were even some people from other clans and sections. Bai Susu asked, Didn't I tell you about the Daoist sect's grand meeting? It would open in 3 days. These people were all here to congratulate him. Lin Xian nodded. Get ready. When the time comes, the Divine Union will also make an appearance. The Sanctuary Alliance had never experienced such a grand occasion since its establishment. Hence, they had to show off in this grand occasion. He wanted to let everyone know that the Divine Union would not have any problems even if the Dragon Palace tried to suppress them. Everyone began to make preparations. The entire Dao sect was bustling with activity. Not many people knew about what had happened in the Divine Union. As for the Dragon Palace, the Dragon Prince did not care. In his opinion, the other party would definitely die after taking down so many experts. What he wanted to do was to show off his skills at the grand meeting, catch the eye of some patriarch, and enter the core area. That way, he would obtain even more resources from the world. Although he was the Dragon Prince, his halo had always been suppressed by the Dragon Prince. When people mentioned the Dragon Palace or the Dragon Race, the first person they thought of was not him, but the Dragon Prince. Only then would they think of him as a genius. How could he be willing to accept this? Hence, he had to show off his strength. Lanziu did not think so much. She was most concerned about whether Lin Xian was dead or not. However, the Wind Dragon had not sent back any news, which made her extremely nervous. Could something have happened? In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. The grand meeting would start tomorrow. Why was he not back yet? The Dragon Prince said, Don't worry. He will be back tomorrow. Lanziu was nervous. Finally, the 3rd day had arrived. On this day, multicolored lights danced in the Dao sect. The great Dao descended, creating a celestial scene. At the same time, countless figures appeared one after another. These people had prominent horns and a piercingly cold aura. Everyone's eyes were filled with excitement. The grand meeting of the Dao sect was held once every 10 years. The main purpose was for the patriarch to come and see if there were any top geniuses. If there were, he would choose 1 or 2 and accept them as disciples. He would use the core strength of the Dao sect to nurture them. He would strive to nurture the next Dragon Prince. The Dao sect disciples gathered one after another. Among them The most dazzling was naturally the Dragon Palace. Look, the people from the Dragon Palace are here. Countless Tao sect disciples looked at the vast number of people in front of them with envy. The one walking at the front was naturally the Dragon Prince. They wondered if the Dragon Prince would appear this time. Yes, would they be able to see the Emperor's glory? If the Dragon Prince were to appear, he would definitely be sitting with the elders. His status had long surpassed that of the younger disciples. As soon as he said that, everyone nodded. Someone said, "I received news that the Dragon Prince should not appear. He is now challenging the sacred Abyss Tower for power. After all, his goal is to be crowned. He doesn't care about anything else. Although the Dragon Prince is not here, the Dragon Prince is also extremely terrifying. I think that besides Long Huangzi, the Dragon Prince is the most eye-catching person in the Tao sect. He is also someone who hopes to stand at the peak in the future. However, does he want to be crowned? It would be difficult. However, it would not be a problem to become the first person after the Dragon Prince. Everyone was talking about it. Some people said that it couldn't be. There should be another person. Are you talking about that Lin Xian? Yes, he established the divine union forcefully back then and went against the Dragon Palace. It was said that he even killed the Dragon Prince's clone. He should also be very powerful. As soon as this was said, someone else nodded. Someone said that it was just that that guy was very mysterious and had not been seen for a long time. After the death match with Yi Chun, he had been in seclusion and had not come out. I wonder how he is now. Has his injury recovered? Hearing this, someone from the Dragon Palace sneered. What Lin Wudi? From now on, there would be no such person. You guys don't have to look forward to it. After saying that, he turned and left. What was going on? The other people from the Tao sect were shocked. From now on, there would be no Lin Xian? Could it be that he had fallen? That was impossible. Yes, that was right. Lan Xiu also clenched his fists. From now on, Lin Xian was history. There would be no such person in the world. Will not appear. Who do you think you are? Do you think you are a prophet? Can you predict everything? At that moment, a mocking voice was heard. Countless people were shocked. Who dared to challenge the Dragon Palace? The people from the Dragon Palace were also angry. Do you have a death wish? Stand out, and I will send you to hell. Try and touch me. The toad jumped out and shouted coldly, "Open your dog eyes and look, your Grandpa Toad is here." Chapter 4881. It's you. The people from Dragon Palace were stunned. Lan Ziu's pupils constricted. He exclaimed, "You're not dead?" Toad sneered. "Why? Are you surprised that I'm still alive? Could it be that you're secretly attacking me? Do you think I'm dead?" Fu Hongya walked out and said, "So it was your Dragon Palace who secretly tried to kill us during the mission. Now, he finally found his enemy." Countless people were in an uproar. The people from Dragon Palace were also shocked. Lan Xiu said, "Are you kidding? How could we attack you? Don't talk nonsense." "Nonsense?" Lu Yuan snorted. "Then why are you so afraid when you see us? And you say we're not dead? You obviously know something. Do you want to inform the elders of the Law Enforcement Hall to take you away for interrogation?" Lan Xiu was pale with fright. The other people from Dragon Palace were also shocked. They realized that not only were Toad and the others not dead, but the people from before were also alive. More importantly, they saw Lin Xian. Damn it, this guy is also alive. Lin Xian walked out and sneered. "Why? Are you surprised?" Lan Xiu was shocked and speechless. What's going on? Did Wind Dragon and the others fail? Why is Lin Xian still alive? And the people who were suppressed before were also rescued. Did their plan fail? The Dragon Prince frowned. What's going on? Where are Wind Dragon and the others? He used the voice transmission token, but there was no response. This gave him a bad premonition. Lan Ziyu was also panicking. He quickly sent a voice transmission to his father, but there was also no response. What's going on? Did something really happen? She didn't dare to imagine. Nothing will happen. The Dragon Prince snorted. It's very likely that they didn't catch this kid and felt that they would be punished when they returned, so they hid outside for a while. Although the mission failed, the Dragon Prince didn't believe that those people would die. They were countless experts. Let's go, attend the ceremony first, and then deal with this kid. The Dragon Prince looked coldly at Lin Xian and the others and snorted. He turned and walked forward. There were many people in the square, and there were many pavilions and palaces around them. There was a huge hall in front of them, and it was very terrifying. Dao Palace. This was a very important palace. Only extremely powerful people or people with extraordinary statuses were allowed to enter. The people of Dragon Palace took their seats around the square. The Dragon Crown Prince walked towards the Palace of the Path and quickly entered. The surrounding people were envious. Very few of the younger generation could enter, and the Dragon Crown Prince was one of them. Someone looked at Lin Xian and shook his head slightly. Although this guy claimed to be able to fight against the Dragon Crown Prince, he was still far from it. The Dragon Crown Prince could enter the Palace of Dao, but the other party had no chance at all. Those from Dragon Palace also sneered. Boy, you want to fight with us? The difference was too great. Let's go to the Dao Palace first. In my opinion, he can forget about entering in this lifetime because he is not qualified at all. Cold laughter rang out one after another. Bai Susu and the others had gloomy expressions on their faces. It was simply too difficult to enter the Dao Palace. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was incomparably calm. When he heard the mockery, he laughed coldly. So what if it was the Dao Palace? My goal isn't here. My goal is to reach the peak of the Sacred Abyss Tower. When they heard this, the surrounding people were stunned. The people from Dragon Palace also laughed heartily. You want to reach the peak of the Sacred Abyss Tower? Who do you think you are? Are you a prince? You are overestimating yourself. The surrounding people also shook their heads and sighed. Lin Xian was a little overconfident. One had to know that the only person who had reached the peak was Kuan Pengzi. Even the Dragon Prince was a little lacking. However, given enough time, he would definitely reach it. Besides these two princes, it was impossible for anyone else to reach the peak. Lin Xian snorted coldly, unmoved. How could these people understand his path? Next, Lin Xian led the people from the Divine Union to a hall on the side of the plaza and sat down. More and more people arrived at the plaza. There were even some people who weren't from the Path sect, but from other clans and sects who came to congratulate him. Among them, there was an endless stream of people who came to congratulate the Dragon Crown Prince and the Dragon Palace. The people from the Dragon Palace were very pleased. Did you see that? There are many forces in the Path sect, but they are the only overlords. Kid, did you see that? This is the power of the Dragon Palace. We have countless sects and clans. How are you going to fight us? In the hall beside them, the people from the Dragon Palace sneered. Lin Xian replied faintly that he had seen it. However, that was all. In the face of absolute power, everything else was futile. Only one's own strength was true strength. Lin Xian understood this very well. He had been able to destroy so many experts from the Dragon Palace alone because of his own strength. Furthermore, it was said that the Emperor Lord Back then could destroy millions of worlds with a single palm. How majestic was that? So, what if one had a strong background? They couldn't even compare to a single finger of the Emperor Lord. If Lin Xian could become the Emperor Lord and rule the world, why would he have to worry about not having enough clans to bow to him? What an arrogant brat. The people from the Dragon Palace gritted their teeth. There were a lot of people around, but the old ancestors from the Path sect hadn't arrived yet. They would probably arrive at the last moment. At this moment, some people from the big clans arrived. The clan leader of the Blue Clan had arrived. With a loud shout, Countless people were surprised and turned their heads to look. The Blue Clan was one of the top clans and was very famous. The clan leader of the Blue Clan had arrived personally. The clan leader strode over with a group of people. He looked like an old man. The icy aura on his body was abnormally terrifying. It formed an icy battle robe, and he looked extraordinarily mighty. Greetings, Senior. Along the way, the surrounding people bowed to him. Lan Ziyu also stood up and greeted the clan leader. Ziyu, the clan leader of the Blue Clan, nodded with a smile. How have you been? Has your strength improved? Thank you for your concern. Clan leader, I am stronger than before. Lan Ziyu smiled. At the side, Bing Ling furrowed her brows. The previous clan leader wouldn't have such a good attitude towards Lan Ziyu. One should know that she was the #1 genius of the clan. But now, her limelight was completely suppressed by Lan Ziyu in the clan. How many days had it been? She couldn't believe it. Later, she found out that Lan Ziyu's status changed because he became the Dao companion of the Dragon Prince. This made Bing Ling very disdainful. The clan leader of the Blue Clan didn't think so. The Dragon Prince was the top figure in the Dragon Palace, second only to the Dragon Prince and the son of the Dragon Sea Lord. Such a person's status was too high, far higher than Lan Ziyu's. Even Bing Ling couldn't compare to him. To be able to form an alliance with such a person was a great honor for the Blue Clan. So he was naturally happy. Ziyu, come, accompany me to see the Dragon Prince. Chapter 4882. Lan Ziyu nodded and walked towards the Dao Palace with the clan leader of the Blue tribe. Inside the Dao Palace, there were a few distinguished people. The youngest among them was the Dragon Prince. When the clan leader of the Blue tribe arrived, he smiled at the others and said, "Greetings, my friends." The other elites nodded in agreement. The clan leader of the Blue tribe came to the side of the Dragon Prince and said, "Greetings, Dragon Prince." Long Ao smiled. "Senior Lan is too polite. You are a senior. Isn't it too much for you to bow to me like this?" The clan leader of the Blue tribe said. "Others might not, but the Dragon Prince deserved it. Clan leader Lan, please take a seat." The Dragon Prince invited the clan leader of the Blue tribe in, and the two of them sat down to chat. When the people of the Dragon Palace saw this, they were delighted. They looked at Lin Xian and sneered. "Did you see that? The clan leader of the Blue tribe is very respectful to our prince. Can you do it?" The Wind Dragon tribe had arrived. Another shout was heard. The clan leader of the Wind Dragon tribe had arrived with his elites. Then he went in to greet the Dragon Prince. "Uncle Long, are you still so polite to me?" Long Ao smiled. "Please." Both of them were from the Dragon tribe and naturally had a close relationship. The Sky Blade Mansion Master had arrived. The clan leader of the Golden Armor tribe. Powerful figures arrived one after another. They were all invited into the Dao Palace. Then they congratulated the Dragon Prince. In an instant, Long Ao was surrounded by many powerful figures. These were the clan leaders, sect leaders, and alliance leaders. Many of them were from the remote antiquity families. Even the weakest of them was a top family. In an instant, Long Ao was in the limelight. He even overshadowed the older generation figures and became the focus of everyone's attention. The people of the Dragon Palace were naturally pleased. Even the Dragon Prince was so powerful, let alone the Dragon Prince. There was no need for the Dragon Prince to take action. The Dragon Prince alone could sweep everything away. The Divine Union? Ridiculous. Many people were disdainful of the Divine Union. The others were also discussing. It seemed like the Dragon Palace was indeed terrifying. Not everyone could challenge them. The difference between the Divine Union and the Dragon Palace was like heaven and earth. The difference was too great. The people of the Divine Union gasped, although they were not convinced the other party had made such a big scene. Bai Susu gritted her teeth. Damn it, she didn't expect the other party to do something like this. Are they trying to attack us? If we had known earlier, we would have asked some of the family heads to come as well. Bai Susu could also recruit a group of people. Even the talented members of the Divine Union had families behind them. However, compared to the other party, he seemed a little weak. After all, the Blue Clan and the Wind Dragon Clan were all top clans. There were even clans of the ancients. Lin Xian said with a smile. No matter, the best part was yet to come. How could he not be prepared? He had already sent invitations to his previous allies. He thought that those people would respond very soon. At this moment, Lan Ziyu had also returned to the palace. He looked at Lin Xian and the others and sneered. It was true that one was powerful, but sometimes one's foundation and background were enough to overwhelm everything else. There was a cold light in her eyes. Crimson Dragon and the others gritted their teeth. Just as they were about to retort, another voice sounded. The Nayland family has arrived. Here it comes. The people of the Divine Union heaved a sigh of relief. Nayland Liang also smiled. The current family head was his grandfather, so he naturally had to come. As expected, Nayland led his family over to Lin Xian's side. Congratulations to Lin Gongzi. Although the Nayland family wasn't an ancient clan, it was still a top clan and was very young. With strength, they might be able to go further in the future. Now that the Nayland family head had come to congratulate Lin Xian, many people were shocked. The faces of the people of the Dragon Palace darkened. Did the Nayland family have a death wish? It seemed like they had to take some measures to suppress this family and let them know who was in charge here. Lan Ziyu snorted. The Nayland family was nothing to be afraid of. Furthermore, this was because of Nayland Liang. Otherwise, why would the Nayland family stand on Lin Xian's side? The Duga family has arrived. Another loud voice was heard. The people of the Duga family strode over. This group of people had iron swords on their backs. Their aura was surging, and when they appeared together, they exuded an austere aura. Countless people looked up, and many people stood up to greet him. Old Master Duga strode over with Duga Xiaoyi and the rest. Greetings, everyone. Old Master Dugu kept waving his hands. He walked over to the side of the hall. When they saw this, everyone was stunned. Who was Old Master Duga going to meet? The people of the Dragon Palace were also surprised. Lan Ziyu smiled. He must be here to meet us. Although we don't have much contact with the Duga family, we have the Dragon Prince and the Dragon Crown Prince. They will come over obediently. When he said this, the people of the Dragon Palace nodded. Fairy Jiu, please receive them. Lan Ziyu stood up. Her status was no longer ordinary. She was the cultivation partner of the Dragon Crown Prince. Her status in the Dragon Palace was very high. Therefore, she stood up and walked forward with a beautiful smile. So it was Old Master Dugu. Old Master Dugu, please. When the surrounding people saw this, they were in an uproar. Even the Dugu family was on the side of the Dragon Palace. It seemed that the Dragon Palace was more terrifying than before. However, soon, the surrounding people were stunned. Lan Ziyu was also stunned. The smile on her face froze and became very ugly. The people of the Dragon Palace were even more stunned. They couldn't believe it. Old Master Dugu ignored Lan Ziyu and went directly to the side of the hall. Greetings to Lin Gongzi. This old man is here to congratulate Lin Gongzi. The Duga family is here to meet Lin Xian. What's going on? A series of exclamations sounded. The people of the Dragon Palace were stunned. What a joke. When did Lin Xian become so powerful? When did he get together with the Duga family? Lan Ziyu's face was even uglier. She turned her head with a trace of coldness in her eyes. She saw that Old Master Dugu was very respectful to Lin Xian. It didn't seem like he was pretending at all. Old Master Dugu is too polite. Lin Xian nodded with a smile. This made people even more shocked. The Duga family was also a top family. Old Master Dugu was the patriarch. When you saw him, you had to quickly stand up and be respectful. But now, Lin Xian just nodded. What kind of attitude was this? Even the Dragon Prince didn't dare to do this. This was the attitude that the Dragon Prince should have. But now, it appeared on Lin Xian. This guy is courting death. I'm afraid I'll lose an ally. The people of the Dragon Palace sneered. Lan Ziyu also snorted. However, he didn't appear. Old Master Duga didn't have any dissatisfaction at all. Instead, he said to the people next to him, "Why don't you greet Lin Gongzi?" The experts of the Duga family cupped their fists and greeted Lin Gongzi. Chapter 4883. The people of the Divine Union were stunned. Bai Susu was even more surprised. Lin Xian actually had such a connection with the Duga family, it was unbelievable. The others were in an uproar. It seemed like Lin Xian was prepared. No wonder he dared to compete with the Dragon Palace. Some people also said that the Nalan family and the Duga family were not bad, but they were still weak compared to the Dragon Palace. Indeed, how many experts were there beside the Dragon Prince in the Dao Palace? Lin Xian only had 2, so there was nothing to be afraid of. The people of the Dragon Palace regained their composure and sneered. "I want to see how much trouble you can cause. Xiaoi, hurry up and give Lin Gongzi a gift." Old Master Duga said to Duga Xiaoi. Duga Xiaoi nodded and walked out to greet Lin Gongzi. With a smile, she flipped her hand and took out a treasure box. There were 3 leaves in it. What was that? The surrounding people were stunned. Lan Ziyu and the people of the Dragon Palace sneered. This was a trap. They were all watching a good show. The people of the Divine Union were also puzzled. Lin Xian's pupils shrank. He took a deep breath and waved his hand, taking the 3 leaves. This was to thank Old Master Dugu. Lin Xian was overjoyed. The 3 leaves contained a terrifying sword aura. Old Master Duga said, "It's good that you like it. These are the 3 sword leaves left behind by the Duga family's top swordsman, the Duga sword demon 30,000 years ago. It contains supreme sword principles and is now a gift to you." What? Something left behind by the Duga sword demon? The surrounding people were stunned when they heard this. Then they all gasped. The Duga sword demon was incredible. Back then, he had led the Duga family to the peak. Back then, the Duga family had not been afraid of the remote antiquity family. They were even extremely strong. Apart from the remote antiquity family who had emperor weapons, no one was a match for the Duga family. In that era, the Duga sword demon had swept through everything with his iron sword. How could the things he left behind be weak? In an instant, countless people exclaimed. The eyes of those from Dragon Palace turned red. Damn it, what was going on? The Duga clan had actually taken out such a good item. At the side, Nalando also smiled. "Look, I forgot that I also prepared something for young master. I hope that young master can accept this world core." The reason why the 8th elder, Nalanda, was able to become the patriarch was all because of Lin Xian. That was why he gave him a world as soon as he made a move. The surrounding people exclaimed in surprise again. The people of Dragon Palace were mad. Damn it. How could this kid have such good luck? On the other hand, the people from the Divine Union were extremely excited. This was great. Did you see that? They weren't without a foundation. The Divine Union was extremely happy. Following which more and more powerhouses arrived. At that moment, a voice was heard and resounded throughout the area. The Fire Dragon race had arrived. It was the Fire Dragon race. Many people cried out in surprise. This was also a member of the Dragon race. His strength was extremely terrifying. Inside the Dao Palace, the Dragon Prince's lips curled into a smile. Although the matter between the Nalan family and the Duga family had caused him to frown, it was still not enough. But so what? The two families stood on the side of the divine union and still couldn't compete with the Dragon Palace. Clearly, the Fire Dragon clan had also come to congratulate him. He sat there with a confident smile on his face. This time, the Fire Dragon Princess was leading the Fire Dragon tribe. Behind her were many powerhouses. She didn't go to the Dao Palace. Instead, she walked directly to the side of the plaza. The Fire Dragon race's patriarch was in seclusion. It seemed like he had sent his daughter. Many people were discussing this. In that case, it was understandable that the other party didn't go directly to the Dao Palace. After all, he was just a young man. However, everyone guessed that the other party was definitely on the side of the Dragon Palace. Everything else aside, they were all from the Dragon race. This made everyone know that the other party was definitely on the Dragon Prince's side. The people from the Dragon Palace were excited once again. Lan Zi stood up and said, "Sister Dragon Princess, you're here." The Fire Dragon Princess glanced at him. Was this the Dragon Prince's cultivation partner? He didn't seem like much. She thought to herself. However, she remained expressionless and nodded slightly as a greeting. This stunned Lan Zi. What was the meaning of this? Was she being ignored, or was he looking down on her? The people from the Dragon Palace also frowned. At this moment, another figure stood up. This man was wearing dark armor and had an extraordinary aura. His name was Nan Gu, and he was a top prodigy of the Black Dragon race. If Lan Zi didn't have enough face, then it shouldn't be a problem for him to come out. His status was not inferior to that of the Wind Dragon race. In fact, he was even stronger. Long time no see, Dragon Princess. Nan Gu greeted her. He was also acquainted with the other party. However, the Fire Dragon Princess only nodded. She had no intention of coming in. Instead, she walked to the palace next to her. She had met Lin Gongzi. The surrounding people were stunned. She was here for Lin Xian? How was that possible? She was from the Fire Dragon race. Shouldn't she be on the Dragon Palace's side? The people from the Dragon Palace were stunned. Nan Gu's expression was also ugly as he stood there in a daze. In the Dao Palace, the Dragon Prince's expression darkened. The wine cup in his hand also turned into powder with a crack. How dare the Dragon race not come over? She had gone to meet Lin Xian. This made him very angry. Was this a slap to his face? The Fire Dragon race was truly courting death. However, the Fire Dragon Princess didn't care about the gazes of others. She went to Lin Xian's side and started to congratulate him. She waved her hand and took out a jade bottle. These were 2 bottles of Fire Dragon divine liquid. I hope you don't mind. The surrounding people were stunned. This was the treasure of the Fire Dragon race. Normally, it wouldn't be passed on. However, she had given it to Lin Xian. She had even given him 2 bottles. The Dragon Princess was too courteous. "Please take a seat." Lin Xian gestured. Bai Susu received it with a smile and invited the Dragon Princess and the others to take a seat. The people from the Divine Union were still in disbelief. They had not expected the Fire Dragon race to be on their side. Then they laughed. Toad even jumped out and walked to the Dragon Palace's side. "Hey, does your face hurt?" The Crimson Dragon snorted. "I think some people are too arrogant. Do they really think they can cover the sky with one hand? Despicable." Nan Gu gritted his teeth. The people from the Dragon Palace were so angry that they wanted to vomit blood. Inside the Dao Palace, the clan leader of the Blue Clan and the clan leader of the Wind Clan frowned. Lin Xian was so powerful. What did he do to the Fire Dragon clan? Whatever it was, I will make the Fire Dragon race pay the price. The Dragon Prince's expression was cold. His words carried a trace of killing intent. The eyes of the Blue race and Wind race leaders flickered. It seemed like someone was going to be unlucky. No matter how strong Lin Xian was, could he really go against the Dragon Palace? They shook their heads and sneered. The fire dragon race didn't know what was good for them. They were doomed. Chapter 4884. Long Ao's side was furious. The people of Dragon Palace were gnashing their teeth. They were slapped in the face. Everyone was talking about it. It seemed that Lin Xian had really gathered a group of allies to fight against the Dragon Palace. However, it seemed that it was still not enough. Even with the addition of the Fire Dragon tribe, it didn't seem to be enough. Their only purpose was to slap Dragon Palace in the face and make them proud. But in the future, it would be very dangerous. At that moment, a loud voice came from afar. The Yi clan of the remote antiquity had arrived. The crowd was in an uproar when they heard this. The Yi clan was not an ordinary clan of the ancients. It was a monarch clan, and it possessed an extreme weapon. Its foundation was definitely top-notch. This was a true overlord. Was the Yi clan here as well? Many people were shocked. Some people gasped. That's not right. Yi Wudao, the genius of the Yi family, was cultivating in the Heaven sect. Why would he come to the Dao sect? No one could understand. Perhaps it was because Yi Wudao was in the Celestial sect, but Yi Wudao was too strong. You should know that the Heaven sect also has an imperial prince, Kunpengzi. His family is also an imperial prince, the Kunpeng clan. His background was no weaker than Yi Wudao's, but his innate talent was far superior to Leaf Dao Denier's. Yi Wudao had the sacred body of the ancients, while the Kunpengzi was a true imperial prince. The gap between the two was still huge. With the Kunpeng master present, Leaf Dao Denier would only be second. I'm guessing that the Yi clan is here to join forces with the Dragon Prince. The two monarch clans belonged to different orthodoxies. They worked together to suppress Kunpengzi. That would be beneficial to both the Dragon Prince and Leaf Dao Denier. As soon as he said this, the others nodded in agreement. That was indeed the case. After thinking about it, they felt that this was the only reasonable explanation. The Dragon Prince is currently doing his best to challenge the Holy Gulf Tower and isn't around. Should I inform him? The patriarch of the Wind Dragon clan asked. However, the Dragon Crown Prince said, the Dragon Prince doesn't allow anyone to disturb him. Let's go. As the second in the Dragon Palace, the Dragon Crown Prince had unlimited confidence that he could definitely represent the Dragon Palace. Good, we will follow. The Blue Clan's patriarch stood up, and so did the Wind Dragon Clan's patriarch. Behind them was the Heavenly Saber Mansion's mansion lord. They all followed the Dragon Crown Prince outside. A group of people appeared in the square. The people from the Yi clan had arrived, and the one leading them was the great elder of the Yi clan. Next to him was the young Yi Wudao, and behind him were a few experts from the Yi clan. Wherever they passed, the people around them greeted them. Greetings, Senior Yi. Young noble Wudao was becoming more and more powerful. In response to such greetings, Leaf Dao Denier and the Grand Elder simply nodded. After all, these people couldn't even be mentioned in the same breath as them. The others didn't dare to get angry because the two sides weren't on the same level to begin with. Even on the buried Emperor's Star, the Yi family is one of the top families. The other remote antiquity families paled in comparison. Greetings, fellow Taoists of the Yi family. At this moment, a group of people walked towards them. The one leading them was the Dragon Crown Prince. The Wind Clan's clan head, the Blue Clan's clan head, and the Heavenly Saber Manor's clan head cupped their fists and greeted Xiaochen. The members of the Yi family stopped, and the Great Elder nodded slightly. The Dragon Crown Prince smiled and walked over to greet the Yi family senior. This must be Brother Wudao, right? You're even more extraordinary than the rumors. The Dragon Crown Prince is too courteous. Leaf Dao Denier smiled. Long Ao said that the Dragon Prince was in seclusion to break through the Holy Gulf Tower, so he couldn't leave. Therefore, I represent the Dragon Prince and the Dragon Palace to welcome the senior of the Yi family. I hope, Elder, you won't take offense. Please. He made a gesture of invitation. The surrounding people exclaimed, Heavens, is the Dragon Palace going to join forces with the Yi family? It's too inconceivable. This way, the Dragon Palace would be even more terrifying. Who would be a match for the Dragon Palace? Previously, the Dragon Palace had a terrifying background. Not only did they have the support of the elders, but more importantly, the Dragon Prince had the backing of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. That was an emperor clan. Now, with the addition of the Yi family, it would be 2 emperor clans. Even the Kunlun sect would have to back down. The members of the Dragon Palace stood up excitedly. Lanziu, Nangu, and the others laughed. They stared at Lin Xian with cold radiance in their eyes. Kid, the Dragon Palace is getting stronger. Let's see how you'll die. The others also shook their heads and sighed. This time, Lin Xian was really unlucky. He had kicked an iron plate. Yes, he still wanted to contend with the Dragon Palace. This time, it was completely impossible. The expressions of the Divine Union members changed drastically. They felt a huge pressure. Beside them, the Duga family, Nalan family, and Fire Dragon family also looked solemn. Nalanda, an old man Duga, did not regret it. Nalanda's position was given to him by Lin Xian. Old man Duga's life was saved by Lin Xian. The two of them stood firmly by Lin Xian's side. On the other hand, the Fire Dragon tribe's side turned black. They did not agree to it previously. However, the Fire Dragon lady was stubborn, and they could not stand by Lin Xian's side. Now, it seemed that they had completely offended the Dragon Palace. The Fire Dragon tribe would be in danger if the Dragon Palace punished them in the future. Toad, Crimson Dragon, Fu Hongya, and the others had strange expressions. Soon, they sneered. The Dragon Palace and the Yi family joining forces? What a joke. Let's see who kicked an iron plate. They knew the relationship between Yi Wudao and Lin Xian. At the thought of this, the Crimson Dragon and the others sneered. Ahead, the Yi family's grand elder also smiled. The Dragon Prince was too polite. Everyone knew that the Dragon Prince was in seclusion to be crowned king. And this time, we're not here to look for the Dragon Prince. We're not here to look for the Dragon Prince. The surrounding people were stunned. Even the Dragon Prince was stunned. Who was it? Could it be that they were looking for him? Did they like him? Because he was the same as Yi Wudao. They both had the ancient body and a powerful background. However, he was not the first person. Did Yi Wudao want to join forces with him? In that case, it was not impossible. He was extremely excited. However, Yi Wudao did smile. He said, "We're here to congratulate Brother Lin." Brother Lin? Hearing this, the Dragon Prince was stunned. The smile on his face froze. The Blue Clan's patriarch, Wind Dragon Clan's patriarch, and the others were also stunned. The others were in an uproar as they discussed madly. Who was Brother Lin? Who could be so important to the Yi family? Was there anyone with the surname Lin among the top experts of the Path sect? There was one called Lin Jiutian. It couldn't be him. Countless voices sounded. There was someone called Lin Jiutian on the Xian ranking. He was also very strong. However, was it worth the Yi family to mobilize so many people? Could it be that Lin Jiutian had a relationship with the Yi family that they did not know? Thinking of this, everyone was even more curious. The Dragon Crown Prince's face darkened. He wasn't here for him or the Dragon Prince. Damn it, that Lin Jiutian was so lucky. Yi Wudao shook his head again and smiled. We're not here for Lin Jiutian. The brother Lin I'm talking about is Lin Xian. Chapter 4885. Lin Xian. Hearing this name, the surrounding people were stunned. The smile on the Dragon Prince's face disappeared instantly. His eyes widened in disbelief. Lin Xian? Which Lin Xian? He asked quickly. The leaders of the Blue Tribe and the Wind Dragon Tribe were stunned as well. Could it be the Lin Xian they knew? What kind of joke was this? How could that kid be related to the Emperor clan? The others were also discussing. Was it the Lin Xian from the Divine Union? That was impossible. Where did he get that kind of face? Yi Wudao smiled, but didn't say anything. He simply walked to the side of the hall and stopped in front of it. Yi Wudao smiled. Brother Lin, we meet again. Wudao, you're too polite. You didn't even greet me when you came. Lin Xian stood up and walked forward with a smile. The two of them were talking and laughing. It was obvious that they were old friends. Everyone was dumbfounded. The Yi family grand elder walked over. Lin Xian didn't dare to be careless. He cupped his fists and smiled. Greetings, seniors of the Yi family. The Yi family grand elder's eyes shone brightly. Lin Gongzi was indeed extraordinary. Your physique seems to have become stronger than before. Lin Xian had the 9 young divine body, so the Yi family naturally paid attention to him. In their opinion, Lin Xian's cultivation should be weaker than Yi Wudao's. Although the 9 young divine body was extraordinary, Lin Xian didn't have the support of the Emperor clan. Yi Wudao was different. Yi Wudao had a saint body and the full support of the Yi family. His cultivation speed was terrifying. However, it seemed that this wasn't the case. Not only was Lin Xian not lagging behind, but he was also on par with Yi Wudao. The two of them stood there like 2 young gods of war. This shocked the Yi family grand elder. Lin Xian was definitely not simple. He probably had more trump cards than they thought. It was Leaf Dowdenier who had requested to meet with Lin Xian. After much discussion, the Leaf clan agreed. The elders of the Yi clan were very pleased to have an ally like Lin Xian on their side, which would be very beneficial for Leaf Dowdenier. After all, although their Yi family was an imperial clan, they were not the only imperial clan. On the buried Emperor's Star, there were quite a few emperor clans. Some of them could even threaten Yi Wudao. Therefore, the Yi family also needed allies. Senior, you flatter me, Lin Xian said with a smile. After chatting with the seniors of the Yi clan for a while, they nodded in agreement. Wudao, you stay here. Let's go to the Palace of Dao. Given the status of the great elder of the Yi family and the others, it was likely that the Dao sect elders would not be willing to stay with Lin Xian. Thus, in order to avoid unnecessary trouble, the Yi clan's elders and the others went to the Dao Palace. As for Leaf Dowdenier, he remained with Lin Xian. Leaf Dowdenier had the Yi family's holy body, and his previous actions had made it clear to everyone that the Yi family was on Lin Xian's side. The surrounding people went crazy. The people from the Dragon Palace did not dare to believe it. Their expressions became incomparably ugly. If it was said that they did not place the Nailin and Duga clans in their eyes before, the current Yi family was different. This was an imperial clan. An imperial clan was comparable to a group of clans on their side. Lin Xian actually had the qualifications to contend with the Dragon Palace. Damn it, they clenched their teeth so hard that they broke. Lan Ziyu's face was pale. The wine cup in his hand fell to the ground and shattered. How was this possible? She had gone crazy. Every time she was pleased with herself, she thought that she could trample the other party under her feet and make him unable to rise again. But every time, her foot would miss, and the other party would leap up high and slap her directly. In the previous battle, the other party had shocked everyone with a single feat and displayed great strength. She could only look up to him. Now, in terms of background, she thought that with the Dragon Crown Prince, she could look down on the other party. However, the other party actually knew an imperial clan. Now, was she going to look up to him again? She did not want to feel this way again. The Dragon Crown Prince's face was extremely ugly. He had come full of confidence, but in the end, he had been ignored. Damn it! He wanted nothing more than to escape. His face darkened as he turned around and strode towards the Tao Palace. The Wind Dragon Tribe Elder, the Blue Tribe Leader, and the Sky Saber Mansion Master also lowered their heads. The people of the Path sect were in an uproar. This Lin Xian was not simple. Now, it seemed that he indeed had the qualifications to contend with the Dragon Palace. The people of the Divine Union were in high spirits. They were extremely excited every time. That was an imperial clan. This was great. Who would dare to look down on them? The Toad and the Crimson Dragon even came out and mocked the people of the Dragon Palace beside them. A few people of the Dragon Palace had already vomited blood and fainted from anger. Nalanda and Old Master Dugu were also shocked. Lin Gongzi was indeed unfathomable. The elders of the Fire Dragon tribe were also shocked. Previously, they had been somewhat dissatisfied with the actions of the Fire Dragon Princess. After all, this might offend the Dragon Palace and even the Dragon Prince. However, they were now relieved. With the Yi family around, the foundation of the Divine Union had also become stronger. Previously, no one had been optimistic about Lin Xian and the Divine Union. They had thought that the other party was courting death. However, the situation had completely changed now. Everyone was talking about Lin Xian's miraculous abilities. It seemed that they had forgotten about the Dragon Palace. In this atmosphere, half a day passed. The people of the Dragon Palace could not wait to escape. The Dragon Prince closed his eyes and did not say a word. The atmosphere was extremely strange. At this moment, a loud and clear voice rang out from outside. Thunder boomed 9 times and turned into a thunder dragon. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty had arrived. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty had arrived. Countless people exclaimed. This was also an imperial clan. Furthermore, it was the Dragon Tribe. Countless people were shocked. They had not expected to see 2 imperial clans today. In the Tao Palace, the Dragon Prince opened his eyes, emitting a piercing light. They had waited. Previously, they had been suppressed. He had been waiting. Only the elites of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty would be able to contend with the Yi family. Now, they had finally arrived. He strode out in large strides. The Wind Dragon Tribe Leader also took a deep breath and hurriedly followed. The Blue Tribe Leader, the Sky Saber Mansion Master, and the others moved out once again. Greetings, seniors. The Dragon Prince was unusually excited. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty were powerful, and their bloodlines were terrifying. Their appearance caused the faces of the surrounding people to turn pale. It seemed like their bloodlines were about to freeze. The Dragon Prince had not come out of seclusion yet. The leading man asked coldly. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty only had the Dragon Prince in their eyes. Although Long Ao was the Dragon Sea Prince, they still did not take him seriously. Long Ao did not dare to be careless. He even looked extremely respectful. Reporting to Third Uncle Long, the Dragon Prince is still in seclusion in the Sacred Origin Tower. Seniors, please. The Dragon Prince carefully invited the group of people from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty into the Tao Palace. The people of the Dragon Palace heaved a sigh of relief and gritted their teeth. So, what if the Divine Union had the Yi family? The Dragon Palace had the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. The Dragon Prince belonged to the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Lin Xian and the Yi family were only cooperating and could end at any time. In this way, the Dragon Palace was even more terrifying. Chapter 4886, what was supposed to be a grand event of the Tao sect, had now turned into a battle between the Dragon Palace and the Divine Union. It was really surprising. Of course, the crowd did not mind. They were all very excited. One had to know that it was really rare to be able to witness such a battle. All sorts of big shots were emerging. Even the emperor race had come. No one knew how things would develop next. Everyone was looking forward to it. Following which, more people arrived. Many of them were here to congratulate the Dragon Palace. This allowed the Dragon Palace to turn the tables. The people of the Dragon Palace regained their hope. Some people said that the Dragon Palace had a lot of trump cards. The older, the wiser. At this moment, news came from afar. Taiching Ancient City, Pill Cauldron Sect sent gifts. Mount Eternal and the Hall of Eternal Life sent gifts. Mount Eternal, Fire God Palace sent gifts. Ancient Desolation, Gu Family sent gifts. Mountain Sea Palace sent gifts. Six Paths Sect sent gifts. A series of voices rang out, causing countless people to go into an uproar. These were all top-notch great sects, and there were even emperor clans like the Gu clan. Countless people were shocked. The elders of the Tao sect arrived one after another. For example, the Levitation Saint and the others had also arrived. When they heard the news, they were also very happy. It seemed like the Tao sect was getting stronger. The Yi family, Thousand Dragon Dynasty, Gu family, and the three emperor races had come together. This was very rare among the orthodoxies. After all, Yi Wudao was from the Sky sect, and the Ancient Wind sect was from the Earth sect. It was really rare for them to be gathered together. Soon, a group of people walked in. Some of them were covered in flames, some were extremely cold. And there was also a mysterious spatial aura. Pill Cauldron Sect. Zhu Dao Sect, spread your Dao to the four seas. I wish the Divine Union a bright future. I wish Lin Gongzi a bright future. Longevity Hall. Zhu Dao Sect, spread your Dao to the four seas. I wish the Divine Union a bright future. I wish Lin Gongzi a bright future. Fire God Palace, Zhu Dao Sect, spread your Dao to the four seas. I wish the Divine Union a bright future. I wish Lin Gongzi a bright future. Gu Family, Mountain Sea Palace, Six Paths Sect, congratulations. A loud voice rang out. One of the congratulatory gifts was given to the Tao sect, while the other was given to the Divine Union. The surrounding people were stunned. Heavens, what was going on? Not only were these people here to congratulate the Tao sect, they were also here to support the Divine Union. It was too unbelievable. The people of the Divine Union were stunned. Were they dreaming? Happiness had come too suddenly. The people of Dragon Palace were shocked. And so was the Dragon Crown Prince. These families and sects were not from the Holy Abyss Ancient City. Even the Dragon Palace could not gather them. But now Lin Xian had done it. Damn it. How did he do it? The Dragon Prince couldn't believe it. After hearing about this, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty's people's expressions darkened. Was there anyone who dared to compete with the Dragon Palace? That Lin Xian didn't know the difference between life and death. Previously, they had been dismissive of him, but now their faces were filled with shock. From the looks of it, this opponent was not simple. The Tao sect's elders also cried out in alarm and began to discuss. This wasn't the first time they had heard of Lin Xian's name. However, many people had given up when they found out that he had the immortal burial physique. Now, it seemed like that wasn't the case. The Levitation Saint's lips curled into a smile. Based on the lineup, the Divine Union was not any weaker than the Dragon Palace. In fact, they might even be stronger. This way, when the Patriarch arrived, he could use this opportunity to suggest that the Patriarch accept Lin Xian as a disciple and allow Lin Xian to enter the core area. The Levitation Saint took a deep breath and began to look forward to it. The atmosphere had reached its peak. Lin Xian's limelight was unparalleled. Even the Dragon Palace was suppressed. The untethered Six Paths and the others who had come to present gifts first went to the Tao Palace, then went to pay their respects to Lin Xian before leaving. At this moment, another voice was heard. Mad God had arrived. The moment this voice was heard, countless people went into an uproar. Mad God, this name was very well known. Recently, he had risen like a comet in the ancient city. First, he had reached the 1,000th place on the St. Plains list. Then, he had single-handedly wiped out the Nayland family's Fifth Elders faction. Then, he had gone to the Sky Sect and fought with the Sky Sect's elder. He had killed the Sky Sect's elder and left calmly. Every single one of his achievements was shocking. Now, was he also coming? The people of the Divine Union were extremely excited. In their opinion, this was their biggest backer. However, the Crimson Dragon and the others had strange expressions on their faces. They were actually looking forward to it. After all, they knew that Lin Xian was Mad God. This time, it was only a nomological law clone. There was going to be a good show to watch. They knew what was going on and were extremely excited. The faces of the people from the Dragon Palace sank. The Dragon Prince also snorted coldly. Mad God? This time, he should be here to support Lin Xian. So what? No matter how strong he was only ranked 1,000th on the Saint Origin list. Their Dragon Prince was ranked second. The difference between the two was too great. Countless people looked ahead. They saw a demonic figure walk over. He was wearing black robes and was surrounded by demonic chi. It was impossible to see his face clearly. The figure came to the square and waved his hand, taking out a gift box. I'm here to congratulate the Path Sect. There were 3 10,000-year-old spiritual herbs in the gift box. The people from the Path Sect smiled and received it. Mad God, please take a seat. However, Mad God said that he still had a gift for the Dragon Palace. Everyone was stunned. They had thought that Mad God would support Lin Xian. Why did he have a gift for the Dragon Palace? The Dragon Prince was also stunned. Then he laughed heartily. It seemed like Mad God had been frightened by the reputation of the Dragon Prince. Now, he wanted to rely on them? Good. They could use this opportunity to deal a heavy blow to the Divine Union. The Dragon Prince waved his hand when the gift was presented. His eyes were filled with anticipation. The others were also curious. Even the people from the Divine Union were stunned. The demonic figure in front waved his hand, and dozens of gift boxes appeared again. On the Dragon Palace's side, Lanziu, Nangu, and the other powerhouses walked out and brought the gift boxes to the Dao Palace. There were so many things. Was he really intending to rely on them? The Dragon Prince was overjoyed. The people from the 1,000 Dragon Court also opened the gift boxes proudly. Lanziu, Nangu, and the others opened the gift boxes. At that moment, everyone's eyes widened. They wanted to see what kind of rare treasures were in the gift boxes. However, in the next moment, they were stunned. They even let out roars of pain. No, Lanziu fainted immediately. Nangu's pupils shrank. His hands trembled, and the gift boxes fell to the ground. A human head rolled out, still dripping with blood. What was going on? The surrounding people exclaimed. The gift boxes were filled with human heads. The people from the Dao Palace were also stunned. The Dragon Prince's pupils shrank. He recognized one of them at a glance. Wasn't that the head of the Wind Dragon? Damn it! How could this be? The Wind Dragon tribe leader spat out a mouthful of old blood. His face was frighteningly dark. The top genius of their Wind Dragon clan was killed by someone? Damn it! The Blue tribe leader also roared. They had discovered that the head in Lanziu's gift box was Lanziu's father. It was no wonder that Lanziu had fainted. In addition, the Golden Crow tribe and the other experts of the Dragon Palace had all been killed. In an instant, the crowd was in an uproar. Chapter 4887. By Susu was shocked. Wasn't this the group of people who attacked them? That's great. They've finally fallen. The people of the Divine Union also started cheering excitedly. These people deserved it. The surrounding people also understood what was going on. This wasn't a gift for the Dragon Palace. It was obviously revenge for the Divine Union. Damn it, you're courting death. The Wind Dragon Tribe leader shouted angrily. The Wind Dragon Tribe leader was his grandson. How could he not be angry now that he had fallen? He threw out a palm strike that turned into a shocking sword that slashed down from the sky. Boom! That demonic godlike figure was split into two. Then it turned into demonic chi and dissipated in all directions. At the same time, a voice was heard saying that the gift had been delivered and that he was leaving. Damn it, it was a law clone. The Wind Dragon Tribe leader gritted his teeth. Crown Prince, please avenge us. Yes, he had to capture the other party and tear him to pieces. The people of the Blue Tribe were also shouting crazily. Lan Jiu had already woken up. She ran to the Dragon Crown Prince and said that the Crown Prince had to capture Mad God and not let him off. There was also the Divine Union. Lin Xian. Send them all to hell. At this moment, the Dragon Palace was filled with killing intent. The Levitation Saint shouted coldly, "How dare you? Lin Xian was a disciple of the Path sect. You all belong to the same sect. How dare you try to kill a fellow disciple? Are you trying to violate the sect rules?" The other elders also frowned. It was fine if you wanted to capture Mad God. Even if you wanted to deal with Lin Xian, you should have done it secretly. But now, you're saying such words in front of so many experts. You're throwing away the face of your ancestors. Sure enough, one of the elders snorted coldly. You really don't know your place. How dare you? Is this a place where you can come? Leave quickly. Lan Ziyu and the others' blood was boiling, and their faces were pale. They also knew that they had said something wrong and lowered their heads. However, they were unwilling to accept this. Long Ao took a deep breath and said, "You all can leave first. We won't let Mad God off." He wasn't stupid. He wouldn't have said that he would attack Lin Xian tomorrow. He would only target Mad God. However, deep down, he was filled with killing intent for the entire Divine Union. He had to annihilate the entire Divine Union. This matter spread out in an instant, and countless people were in an uproar. The entire ancient city was alarmed. After all, there were countless pairs of eyes paying attention to the Tao meeting. Sacred Abyss Tower. Within a palace, the Ocean Abyss God General looked at the news in his hands and was shocked. Mad God had appeared again. It was just a law clone. Divine General Yungu said, "Didn't you tell him to come over?" The Ocean Abyss Divine General shook his head and smiled. "Yes, he did. But with his personality, he probably wouldn't have any scruples. I think you've already forgotten about it." The Divine Generals shook their heads and sighed. The Divine General of the Sea Abyss said that it wasn't like that. Since he had stood up for Lin Xian so many times, their relationship was definitely not ordinary. Even if we can't find Mad God, can't we find Lin Xian? Find Lin Xian and ask him to help us pass on the message. When the time comes, Mad God will appear. The other Divine Generals nodded. Divine General Yungu also smiled. Great. Let's go and take a look at the Tao sect meeting. Thinking about it, those fellows should be going as well. The Divine Generals turned into streams of light and left the Sacred Abyss Tower. The Tao sect had come from all directions to congratulate them. Outside, there were war chariots everywhere. It was a spectacular sight. Inside, the atmosphere was extremely strange. The previous scene had really alarmed them. The Dragon Palace's face was gloomy as he gritted his teeth. Some of the Tao elders' eyes were also flickering with killing intent. One had to know that most people in the Tao sect were optimistic about the Dragon Prince. Therefore, these elders also supported the Dragon Palace. Now that the Dragon Palace had been suppressed to such an extent, they were naturally shocked and displeased. Some elders said, "This mad god is too arrogant. He actually killed our geniuses in the Tao sect meeting and acted in such a manner. He is simply looking down on us. I suggest that we take action immediately and suppress him." That's right. Many elders nodded in agreement. They were all on the side of the Dragon Prince and the Dragon Palace. The people outside were shocked. Someone said, "It's over. It seems like the divine union is in danger." There were also people who said that Lin Xian was too young. He didn't know how many elders in the Dragon Palace were secretly supporting him. Now, he was slapping the Dragon Palace in the face and going against these elders. Would he have an easy time in the future? The Wind Dragon Tribe's patriarch frowned. That mad god is so mysterious. We don't even know where he is. If he doesn't come out, won't we be unable to take revenge? The Dragon Prince sneered. Mad God might not know, but Lin Xian is here. His relationship with Mad God isn't ordinary. The Levitation Saint's face changed when he heard this. However, the eyes of the other elders lit up. The purple-robed elder said, "That's right. Bring Lin Xian over and ask him about his relationship with Mad God. How should he be punished for allowing Mad God to kill his fellow disciples?" No. The Levitation Saint shook his head. Mad God was the one who did it. Why should Lin Xian be implicated? What evidence do you have? Is there a relationship between the two? Besides, so what if there is a relationship? Mad God is an expert of the demon Tao. How could he be controlled by Lin Xian? You are just adding to the crime. Whether or not he was secretly instigated, we will know once we ask. The purple-robed elder snorted. Guards were waiting outside. "Elder, what's the matter?" The purple-robed elder said, "Bring Lin Xian over. I want to interrogate him." 2 guards in armor strode down the stairs. Soon, they arrived at the main hall and stared at Lin Xian. "Kid, come with us." Chains of law appeared in their hands, and they were about to shroud Lin Xian. The divine union's faces changed instantly. The Crimson Dragon jumped out and said, "What's the meaning of this? You actually dare to make a move on him?" The Toad said, "Don't blame me for being impolite if you dare to make a move on your fellow disciples." The others cried out in alarm. Previously, Lin Xian's limelight had overshadowed the Dragon Prince's. Who would have thought that the True Path sect would suppress him now? Someone sneered. "Did you see that? This is the consequence of provoking the Dragon Palace." The elders behind the Dragon Palace were enraged. The people from the Dragon Palace sneered as well. "Let's see how this kid dies." Lan Ziyu had a sinister expression. She wanted to see Lin Xian fall with her own eyes. Lin Xian also frowned. "You want to suppress me?" One of the guards said, "Kid, you better know your place and follow us obediently. Perhaps we can save your face. If you dare to resist, we will suppress you, tie you up with chains, and take you to the Tao Palace. Choose one." The 2 guards' voices were sharp and merciless. Why were they arresting him? What was the reason? What did Lin Xian do wrong? Bai Susu shouted coldly. She understood that there were already a few elders who were going to take action. She wondered if her father would be able to handle it. It seemed like the situation wasn't good. If he was really suppressed, he would be in danger. Therefore, she couldn't let them take action. Chapter 4888. Lin Xian, stop resisting. This time, the elder has personally called for you. You'd better agree obediently. Otherwise, you'll end up in a miserable state. Everyone's gaze fell on Lin Xian. Lin Xian's eyes flickered as a piercingly cold light appeared in his eyes. He wanted to say something, but before he could, a loud voice came from afar. The divine general of the Sacred Origin Tower had arrived. The moment these words came out, everyone exclaimed again. The divine general was here too? The status of these divine generals was extremely high. Even the Yi family elder and the Thousand Dragon Court's elder raised their brows. The sacred origin tower was very mysterious. The identities of these divine generals were also very unusual. The Dao Sect's elders also stood up and quickly welcomed them. At this moment, everyone began to move. Even the two guards did not attack again. Instead, they turned their heads to look. Under the gazes of countless people, two figures walked in. They really were divine generals. Many people exclaimed, their eyes turning red. They could only look up to such existences. So it's the divine general, a rare guest. The Dao Sect's elder clenched his fist and smiled. How could we not come to the Dao Sect's gathering? This time, we're here to congratulate the Dao Sect. The moment these words came out, the Dao Sect's elders laughed. Did you see that? Their influence was even more terrifying than before. The other remote antiquity families and peerless sects were envious as well. The Yi family elder and the Thousand Dragon Court's experts also came forward to greet them. In the face of such existences, the two divine generals did not dare to be careless. They did not expect that even the emperor's fellow Taoists would come. The Yi family elder said, we're here to congratulate the Dao Sect. At the same time, we're here to see the Dao Sect's top geniuses. The Dao Sect's disciple, Lin Xian, has the 9-yang divine body. He's good friends with our Yi family's Wu Dao. Oh, is that so? Divine General Hyabis smiled. What a coincidence. This time, we're also here to look for Lin Xian. The moment these words came out, the surrounding people were stunned. The divine general was also here to look for Lin Xian? They found it unbelievable. Could it be that these two divine generals were also on Lin Xian's side? Thinking of this possibility, they almost fainted. Why? Why was Lin Xian so capable? He had invited so many experts from so many families, and even the emperor clans and divine generals had to stand on his side. The 10,000 dragon dynasties people were stunned. The Dragon Prince and the Dragon Palace's people were even more dumbfounded. Even Lin Xian was surprised. Why was the immortal general looking for him? Could it be that his identity had been exposed by the other party? While thinking about it, two immortal generals walked towards Lin Xian. Seeing that Lin Xian was still sitting there, the surrounding people sucked in a breath of cold air. This guy wouldn't be so arrogant even in front of a divine general, right? However, it was still all right. Finally, Lin Xian stood up in front of everyone. He smiled and said, "Greetings, senior divine generals." Then he looked at Divine General Haiyuan and said, "Thank you, senior, for your help. It's you." The Ocean Abyss Divine General was also stunned. Then he smiled and said, "So, you are this Lin Xian, Lin Wudi." That's right, the two knew each other. When Lin Xian went to the Sacred Abyss Tower for the first time, he was stopped outside because he didn't have any saint crystals. Back then, he met a divine general who gave him 10 divine crystals. It was this divine General Haiyuan in front of him. The Ocean Abyss Divine General didn't expect that the other party was such a famous genius when he casually took care of him. Wait, he was stunned. He remembered that it was this little guy who went in. At the same time, Mad God also appeared on the Sacred Abyss list for the first time. He didn't care before, but now he realized that Lin Xian and Mad God entered the Sacred Abyss Tower on the same day. Moreover, they were so close. He frowned slightly and had a bold idea in his mind. Could it be that the young man in front of him was Mad God? When this idea came to his mind, even he was shocked. Then he shook his head. That was impossible. If it was really as he guessed, it would be a big deal. Beside him, Divine General Yungu saw that his companion was stunned and quietly asked, "Old man, what's wrong?" The Ocean Abyss Divine General came back to his senses and said, "It's nothing." Lin Gongzi was indeed as extraordinary as the rumors said. Lin Xian didn't know if the other party had discovered his secret, so he could only smile and say, "Senior, you're too polite." He didn't know why these people were looking for him, but he guessed that it had something to do with Mad God. Therefore, he didn't expose them. Young man, very good. I have high hopes for you. If you have any difficulties in the future, just tell me, and I'll help you. Thank you, Senior. Lin Xian smiled. The people of the Dragon Palace had a change in expression. Even the Dao sect elders frowned. Beside them, Bai Susu said, Senior Divine General, there's really something. Someone wants to suppress Lin Xian. Not good. The Dao sect elders' eyelids twitched. Divine General Haiyuan frowned. What was going on? Who was so bold? Who dared to suppress a genius in the Dao sect? Toad jumped out and said, it was really strange that it was one of their own. An order from one of the Dao sect elders was to kill a genius. Hearing Toad's words, the surrounding people's expressions changed. Damn. This Toad really dared to say that. Divine General Haiyuan frowned and looked behind him. Was there such a thing? The Feather Saint smiled. I think it's a misunderstanding, right, Elder Purple Robe? He looked at the other party. Elder Purple Robe's face turned black. How could he refute? Was he supposed to say that it wasn't a misunderstanding? Everyone would probably think that he was suppressing the younger generation. Therefore, he could only smile and say, misunderstanding, this is a misunderstanding. You two, leave. The two guards felt their scalps go numb, and they quickly left. It seemed that no one dared to touch Lin Xian in the open. Damn it, the Dragon Prince and the others gritted their teeth. Killing intent appeared in the eyes of the 10,000 Dragon Court people. This person seemed dangerous, and they had to think of a way to get rid of him. They definitely couldn't allow a potential threat to grow. For example, Long Guang from before. Although he wasn't the Crown Prince, he had already threatened the Dragon Prince. Wasn't he still killed by them? They were also capable of sending Lin Xian to hell without anyone noticing. Today, Lin Xian and the Divine Union that he was in could be said to be in the limelight, stirring up a storm. Even the Dao elders didn't dare to act rashly. In an instant, everyone was talking about how the Divine Union would become even more famous and more experts would join. At this moment, the Dao sect's patriarch finally arrived. Everyone looked over. The Dao sect disciples all stood up and bowed respectfully. Greetings, patriarch. The Dao sect's patriarch was a peak great sage. His aura was unparalleled. His appearance was like the appearance of a god, suppressing everything. Lin Xian felt a chill down his spine, even though he was so far away. This was the peak existence of a great sage. His aura was like the roar of 10,000 dragons. Too powerful. Chapter 4889. Greetings, Lord of the Fantasy World. These were the experts of the remote antiquity families and great sections. The patriarchs also bowed. The fantasy world ancestor had changed everything. She smiled and said, everyone, there's no need to be so courteous. Thank you for participating in the ceremony. 10 years have been like a day. Which geniuses have appeared in the Path sect? Let's wait and see. The fantasy world ancestor sat down. Then the elders of the Path sect walked out and began to host the ceremony. The purpose of this grand ceremony was to test which young genius disciples in the past 10 years could stand out and catch the eye of the old ancestor. It was divided into 3 major battlefields: the Star List, the Jade List, and the Xian List. Countless people were looking forward to it. One had to know that those who could make it to the Jade List were the top existences in the same realm. Those who did not make it to the Jade List would also have an opportunity to challenge others today. In short, as long as you had the strength, you could stand out. This was a very rare opportunity. On Lin Xian's side, many Divine Union disciples took action. Even Fu Hongya, the Crimson Dragon, Bai Susu, and the others took action. It was even more so on the Dragon Palace's side. In an instant, Various battles broke out one after another. It was very exciting and breathtaking. The experts of the remote antiquity families and great sects were shocked. It was no wonder there were so many experts in the Path sect. Toad and the Crimson Dragon were stronger than before. Bai Susu was the same. It seemed like she had been nurtured by her father during this period. On the Divine Union's side, their overall strength had increased greatly, which shocked countless people. In the past, other than the Dragon Palace, there were other powerful forces that were also very scary. However, they seemed to have been surpassed by the Divine Union now. Everyone exclaimed. The Dragon Palace was not weak either. Although they had been suppressed by Lin Xian previously, they still had a strong foundation. At this moment, the experts of the Dragon Palace were all mobilized. There were many experts on the Star list and Xian list. There was even an incredible expert, and that was Lan Ziyu. Lan Ziyu had become the Dragon Prince's cultivation partner, so he had more than 10 times more resources than before. Her strength had also improved by leaps and bounds. Now, she was in the top 10 of the Jade list. The Blue Tribe Patriarch looked at this scene and was very satisfied. Lan Ziyu seemed to have regained his confidence after defeating the experts. Lin Xian looked at the other party and glanced at him indifferently before lowering his head to drink his tea. That's right, that's all. This event lasted for many days. During this period, many powerhouses stood out. Of course, the ones that attracted the most attention were 3 people. The first was naturally the Dragon Prince. His strength and talent could be said to be very strong. He was definitely one of the best below the Dragon Prince. Therefore, when he made his move, it shocked everyone. Even the elders kept nodding their heads. Other than that, there were the 2nd and 3rd ranked on the Xian ranking. The first on the profound ranking, the Dragon Prince had not appeared. The 2nd and 3rd on the profound ranking were only slightly weaker than the Dragon Prince. Their strength was naturally shocking. These 2 people were Li Ruolin, who was ranked 2nd on the profound ranking, and Jia Wuqing, who was ranked 3rd on the profound ranking. If one were to ask who was most likely to be accepted as the ancestor's disciple, it would most likely be one of these 3 people. When all the matches were over, everyone was looking forward to it, especially Li Ruolin, Jia Wuqing, and Long Ao. The 3 of them were nervous. They didn't know who would be chosen by the old ancestor this time. The elders also seemed to be asking for Fantasy World Ancestor's opinion. The Patriarch's eyes flickered as he looked at the 3 of them. Stars flickered in his eyes. The 3 of them were incomparably nervous, as if all their secrets had been seen through in an instant. What do you think? Fantasy World Ancestor didn't answer immediately. Instead, he looked at the people around him. An elder said, I think Li Ruolin is a very good person. There were also people who said that Jia Wuqing's merciless Tao was very terrifying, and that his future was limitless. At this moment, Elder Zhang in purple said, let me see, although the 2 of them are powerful, their future can't compare to Long Ao's. Although Long Hao wasn't the Emperor's son, he was the top genius of the Dragon Clan. He also had the ancient desolate body. What a rare physique. Look at Yi Wudao of the Yi family. One could imagine how terrifying Long Ao's future talent was. I guess the first in the entire Dao is the Dragon Prince, and the 2nd is definitely Long Ao. Therefore, why don't you take Long Ao as your disciple and nurture him carefully? In the future, he will definitely be famous in the 9 heavens. There might even be a genius who can be crowned as a king in our Dao. What Ziyi said was very true. There were a few elders around him who kept nodding. Obviously, they all supported Long Ao. Hearing this, Long Ao's face was filled with pride. However, Li Ruolin and Jia Wuqing's expressions changed. Fantasy World Ancestor's eyes flickered as he looked at Long Ao. At this moment, the Ascension Saint stood up. Senior Brother Z, you're wrong. Long AO is strong, but I don't agree with you saying that he's the second top genius of the Tao. I recommend someone to the patriarch. This person's strength and talent are unparalleled. Oh, who is it? The patriarch was interested. Z, E, and the others' expressions changed. Was the Ascension Saint going to recommend that kid? The disciple I want to recommend is called Lin Xian. He hasn't been in the Tao sect for long, but the strength and talent he displayed are unparalleled. Is that so? Fantasy World Old Ancestor was astonished. Patriarch, please wait a moment. The Ascension Saint turned and walked out of the hall. He said loudly, Lin Xian, the Patriarch wants to see you. When these words were spoken, countless people were in an uproar. No way. Could it be that Lin Xian also had the chance to become the Patriarch's disciple? Some people's eyes turned red. On the Dragon Palace's side, Nan, Gu, Lan Ziyu, and the others gritted their teeth. Why could he do it? The three people in the square, Li Ruolin and Wu Qing, were also shocked. The Dragon Crown Prince's face was gloomy, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. That's great. Lin Xian, my father recommended you. You have to perform well. In the hall, Bai Susu was very excited. The others also took a deep breath. Lin Xian nodded and walked out, heading forward. Junior Lin Xian greets the patriarch and all the elders. Long Ao snorted coldly. Lin Xian raised his head and looked at the hall in front. There was an elder sitting there, like a god of the sky. In the next moment, he was met with a gaze. What kind of gaze was that? It was ancient and filled with the vicissitudes of life. Lin Xian felt as if he was struck by lightning. He felt that all his secrets had been seen through by the other party. What a terrifying gaze. Lin Xian was shocked. He quickly retracted his thoughts. At the same time, a golden light gathered in his eyes, and he activated the power in his body. He was shocked. It was too terrifying. The other party was actually an illusion expert, and he should be a top expert. After all, the other party was a peak great sage. You are Lin Xian? Fantasy World Ancestor's voice floated out. It was as if a god was asking. Hearing this, everyone became nervous. Lin Xian also took a deep breath. He knew that it was time to test him. Chapter 4890. That's right, I am. Lin Xian nodded. That's right. Fantasy World Old Ancestor smiled. Hearing this, everyone exclaimed. The expressions of the people from Dragon Palace changed. Could it be that the Old Ancestor favored him? Old Ancestor. This Lin Xian seems to be a good person at the moment, but his future is really worrying. It can be said that he has no future at all. What do you mean? Fantasy World Old Ancestor was shocked. The purple-clothed elder said, the Old Ancestor didn't know that this person was indeed very strong, but he was from the immortal tomb. In history, there were two people from the immortal tomb who were extremely talented, but in the end, they fell and couldn't become great sages. They couldn't even become sage kings. It was heaven-defying for him to reach this step, but it was impossible for him to take another step forward. He was actually from the immortal tomb. Countless people were shocked. This was the first time some people heard this news. The people from Dragon Palace sneered. How could a person without a future compare to the Dragon Prince? The Feather Saint Lord also frowned. This was indeed Lin Xian's weakness. He couldn't refute it at all. Although he had thought of countless countermeasures, the people from the immortal tomb seemed to have no solution. Was what he said true? Fantasy World Old Ancestor looked at the Feather Saint Lord. The Feather Saint Lord had no choice but to nod. Fantasy World Old Ancestor looked at Lin Xian and shook his head. What a pity. It's over. This kid has no hope. Countless people sighed. The Dragon Prince sneered and said in a low voice, Kid, you're still far from being able to fight me. At this moment, Fantasy World Old Ancestor looked at Long Ao and said, "From now on, you will follow me to cultivate." "Thank you, Old Ancestor." Long Ao bowed, respectfully. He was really too excited. He could finally enter the core area. Currently, his cultivation speed was several times faster than others, even 2 or 3 times faster than the top geniuses. Because he had the support of resources from many worlds, if he could become a core disciple, then his cultivation speed would increase. At that time, no one else would be his match. Beside him, Li Rulin and Wu Qing sighed. It seemed like they had no hope. At this moment, an elder spoke. Although the two of them couldn't become the old ancestors' disciples, they could be accepted by the elder. They would also have a chance to enter the core area. This made the two of them happy. The levitation saint also wanted to make use of this opportunity to take in Lin Xian as a disciple. This way, Lin Xian would at least be able to enter the core region. They wouldn't be too far behind the Dragon Prince in terms of resources. However, the purple-clothed elder said, "Immortal Ascension Elder, I advise you not to waste this spot. He is someone from the immortal tomb and definitely won't be allowed to enter the core area." "That's right, he has no future and is not worthy of our nurturing. Recruiting him as a disciple is a waste of resources in the Tao." The feather saint let out a heavy sigh. Lin Xian remained expressionless. So what if he didn't become a core disciple? He had relied on his own efforts to get to where he was now. In his opinion, there was no difference whether he entered or not. If the other party could obtain a huge amount of resources, so could he. As long as he collected more world cores and entered the sword world to cultivate, his speed would not be slower than anyone else's. Fantasy World Ancestor looked at Lin Xian. When he saw Lin Xian, he was expressionless and shocked. To be honest, this young man really surprised him. When he first looked at him, he realized that he was different from the others. When the Dragon Prince and the others met his gaze, they were unable to resist at all. She instantly saw through the 3 people in front of her. However, this Lin Xian was different. There was a mysterious aura on his body that was resisting him. Although the other party's strength was temporarily unable to contend against him, there was still a trace of mystery to him. He asked, "Are you not convinced?" Lin Xian said, he didn't dare. He just felt that these elders were too conservative. Conservative? Hearing that, the purple-clothed elder became angry. "Brat, are you doubting us?" In his eyes, there was a trace of a cold light. Lin Xian said, "If you think it's a question, then so be it. What qualifications do you have to question me? Just you? Young man, aren't you a bit too weak?" The purple-clothed elder snorted. Lin Xian raised his head, his eyes filled with determination. "You keep saying that I am from the immortal tomb and have no future. What is your basis?" The purple-clothed elder sneered. "What a joke. Didn't I say it? There were 2 people in history who didn't become a great sage, so it's impossible for you." Lin Xian snorted coldly. "I think you're the laughable one. What did you say?" The purple-clothed elder was furious. Fantasy World Patriarch waved his hand to stop him. He looked at Lin Xian again. Lin Xian said, "Just because 2 people couldn't do it, you're doubting me?" A martial artist cultivation was originally going against the heavens. Don't you even have the spirit to explore and challenge? So, what if it was unprecedented? What others couldn't do didn't mean that he couldn't do it. The light in Lin Xian's eyes became colder and colder. "If you want to think like you, how did the first great emperor appear? What was the first time a human cultivated? Who was it? The first time they could use laws. These people who created heaven and earth, no one could pursue them before. Could it be that they didn't continue to move forward? Without these people opening up the path, what right do you have to cultivate now?" Lin Xian's voice was sonorous, one word at a time. The purple-clothed elder's expression turned ugly. How dare he? Lin Xian retracted his gaze and said indifferently, "If you think I'm wrong, you can correct me. But you came up and used your status as an elder to suppress everything. Isn't that a bit too much of a bully?" As soon as these words were spoken, the surrounding people started to discuss. Indeed, Lin Xian was right. What a sharp-tongued brat. Those who created the martial Tao were all heaven-defying existences. They were all supreme figures. How could you be compared to them? Whether I'm worthy of being compared to them or not is not something you can comment on. A cold light appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. Even if there is no path for me, I will walk a path that belongs to me. As soon as he finished speaking, thunder rumbled between heaven and earth. It seemed to suppress Lin Xian, but also seemed to respond to Lin Xian. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. This young man was incredible. Could it be that he wanted to open up a path for himself? How difficult was that? One had to know that even if they followed the path opened up by countless ancestors, it was already as difficult as ascending to the heavens, let alone exploring a new martial Tao on their own. Divine General Hai Yuan's eyes flashed. He was now more and more certain of Lin Xian's identity. The Yi family was also shocked. This kid was incredible. If he could break the curse of the people in the immortal tomb, his future would be limitless. He might even become a great emperor. The people of the Thousand Dragon Court had ugly expressions. Even if such a person was cursed, they wouldn't allow him to live, because it was too dangerous. If they gave him a chance, he might be able to turn things around. They had to find a way to get rid of him as soon as possible. What a joke! The Dragon Crown Prince shouted coldly, "Kid, you're too naive. Those paths aren't for an ant like you. Hurry up and leave. Don't embarrass yourself here." Chapter 4891. In everyone's eyes, Lin Xian seemed to have reached a dead end. However, Lin Xian smiled and turned to stare at the Dragon Prince. "Are you doubting me? Do you dare to fight?" After Long Ao heard this, he also laughed. "You want to challenge me with just you? Fine. You killed my incarnation last time. It's time to settle this grudge. I'm not afraid of you. Fortunately, it was your incarnation last time. Otherwise, you would have gone to hell long ago." Lin Xian's eyes emitted an extremely sharp killing intent. The great Tao laws on their bodies constantly intertwined and collided. It was as if two divine dragons were fighting between heaven and earth. The surrounding people sucked in a breath of cold air. Were these two top geniuses going to fight? It was too shocking. They were all excited because regardless of appearance or Lin Xian, they were both top geniuses. The battle between the two would definitely be a fierce battle. "Nonsense, all of you, back down." An elder snorted coldly. Now that the two top geniuses were fighting, wouldn't it be throwing them to the finish line? The purple-clothed elder smiled. It didn't matter. This event was originally to select geniuses, and now both of them were known as geniuses. Then, who was stronger and who was weaker would be known after a battle. The other experts nodded in agreement. The experts of the nest of 10,000 dragons also spoke. "We also want to see what a top battle is like. What do you think?" Fantasy World Ancestor looked at the Levitation Saint. The Levitation Saint took a deep breath and followed the Ancestor's decision. He didn't stop him because he felt that Lin Xian should be able to contend against Long Ao. Even if he couldn't win, he wouldn't lose too badly. This way, he could show his strength. Perhaps the Ancestor would change his mind. Fantasy World Ancestor retracted his gaze. He understood and looked at the two people in front of him. "Since the two of you are not convinced, then let's have a battle." However, this battle was a spar, and no one was allowed to kill. Yes, Lin Xian cupped his fists and stood facing each other. Jia Wuqing and Li Rulin retreated, and the surrounding people also retreated, giving them enough distance. A fierce battle was about to begin. Long Ao snorted. "Brat, you want to fight with me?" You really don't know what's good for you. Although I can't kill you now, I will ruthlessly trample you under my feet. I will show you the difference between the two of us. There was a trace of coldness in his eyes. If he defeated Lin Xian at this time, it would mean that Dragon Palace had completely trampled him under their feet. From now on, the other party would never be able to make a comeback. Lin Xian laughed. You're overconfident. You'll be the one in despair. What's more, when I fought against the Dragon Palace, my target was the Dragon Prince from the beginning, not you. Hearing this, Long Ao's face darkened. Was he being ignored? The surrounding people were also in an uproar. Lin Xian's target was actually the Dragon Prince. This was too inconceivable. Long Ao snorted coldly. Kid, don't talk big. Is the Dragon Prince someone you can challenge? Today, I will trample you under my feet. He shouted coldly, and the power in his body exploded. Terrifying dragon chi surrounded him, and a huge dragon shadow that was tens of thousands of feet tall appeared. Terrifying auras were rarely seen in the 9 heavens. So terrifying, countless people were alarmed. This Long Ao was really too incredible, as expected of a prince who was evaluated to be second only to a dragon. Just this aura and bloodline alone were enough to sweep through everything. Li Rulin and Wu Qing's pupils shrank. Although Long Ao did not compete for the Win Xian ranking with his strength, even if he went to the Xian ranking, he could kill his way into the top 10. This was too unbelievable. Lin Xian coldly snorted as a terrifying flame appeared on his body. It was like a sun that had descended upon the human world. A terrible aura swept in all directions. The crowd exclaimed again. Previously, they thought that Lin Xian was too arrogant, but when they felt the aura coming from Lin Xian's body, they were shocked. They all changed their minds. The other party did have the right to be arrogant. This aura was definitely not weaker than Long Ao. Sure enough, a sun and a true dragon clashed in the sky, causing countless cracks to appear in the sky. How terrifying! Those young disciples retreated, and those of the older generation narrowed their eyes. Just the clash of auras alone was enough to kill many people in an instant. If the two of them were to really fight, how earth-shattering would it be? Long Ao coldly snorted, his expression cold. The other party was indeed not weak. Although he was unwilling to admit it, this was the truth. Go to hell! He waved his hand at the dragon. The giant dragon in the sky waved its claws and tore the void, descending towards the bottom. Its target was Lin Xian. How terrifying! It was an absolute art the moment it appeared. In the face of this terrifying attack, Lin Xian looked calm. He formed a seal with his palm, the man-ruler seal. When he struck out, he was like a deity in the vast human world. The two terrifying forces collided, and then the light cracked. A terrifying black hole appeared, devouring the surroundings frantically. They were evenly matched. Great, the people of the Divine Union cheered. What Dragon Crown Prince? He was just SOSO. The Toad and the others sneered. Just wait, soon the Crown Prince in your eyes will be trampled under your feet. The people of the Dragon Palace gritted their teeth. Damn it, you will be the one to lose. Your leader Lin Xian will be defeated by our Crown Prince. Just wait and see. The Divine Union is finished. Both sides gnashed their teeth, not giving way to each other. The atmosphere was extremely intense. After blocking his opponent's dragon wave, Lin Xian laughed. Is this all you've got? How disappointing. As he spoke, he struck out with his palm, the great rock seal. A great rock appeared between heaven and earth, carrying an aura that could tear everything apart. Long Ao's face was cold. He waved his fist again, and the giant dragon roared. The terrifying dragon fist struck out, and at the same time, the giant dragon wings on the back of the giant dragon kept rising and falling. It was like a heavenly blade slashing towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian did not dodge at all. The Man-Ruler Seal, the Great Rock Seal, and the Treasure Mountain Seal were constantly used to contend with the opponent. It was as if two worlds were fighting, and the sky was falling and the earth was cracking. Then Lin Xian punched out. The Six-Path Fist. This punch was indomitable and could destroy everything. Not good. Seeing this, Long Ao's pupils shrank. He felt a fatal crisis. The other party could actually threaten him. Unforgivable. Dragon roar. His roar shook heaven and earth. The terrifying dragon roar swept out in all directions. At this moment, everyone's blood was boiling. The weaker ones were bleeding from their 7 orifices, and some of them even had cracks on their bodies. Not good. This was too terrifying. The levitation saint waved his hands, and countless petals danced between heaven and earth, forming a boundary that covered the front. At the same time, the Yi family and the Thousand Dragon Court also made their move. The 3 top experts worked together to seal the entire square, to prevent the power from spreading. How was the situation at the front? Many people widened their eyes. Even though they were so far away, they were still injured. Would Lin Xian, who was the first to bear the brunt of the impact, be affected as well? The terrifying dragon roar was like seawater, drowning Lin Xian, and his figure disappeared before everyone's eyes. Chapter 4892. That kid is definitely dead. Seeing this, the people of the Dragon Palace burst into laughter. The people of the Divine Union were also nervous. This was not an ordinary sound. It was the roar of a dragon. It contained supreme dragon blood. Could Lin Xian block it? They were worried. But soon, they all laughed because Lin Xian broke the heaven and earth with a single punch. Then he walked out in a domineering manner. He stomped his foot and used the celestial walk to kill like a god. Do you think I'm afraid of you in close combat? Long Ao snorted. So what if the other party had the 9 yang divine body? He also had the ancient desolate body. Boom. The two collided in close combat. Each blow was like 100,000 mountains bombarding between heaven and earth. Thousands of cracks appeared. The people below were shocked. Indeed, their physiques were evenly matched. Yi Wudao looked at the scene and narrowed his eyes. The Crimson Dragon also gritted his teeth. Damn it, this guy's physique is indeed extraordinary. Even he could feel a trace of threat from it. In the Dragon Tribe, there were very few people who could suppress Long Ao in terms of bloodline, except for the Dragon Prince. Useless kid. I'll split your 9 yang divine body today. Long Ao roared to the sky and soared into the sky. The giant dragon phantom wings on his back drooped down again like a peerless divine sword. Lin Xian sneered and stretched out his right arm. His right arm turned into a peerless divine sword. The sword rules swept across heaven and earth. This sword could split the sky. Boom. The collision of the divine sword and divine sword made everyone's scalp tingle again. However, there seemed to be a change this time. The peerless divine sword formed by the giant dragon phantom was shattered by Lin Xian's attack, and a big crack appeared. Then it broke in half from the middle. Long Ao retreated. His arm was split open and dragon blood dripped from the sky. Long Ao was injured. Countless people exclaimed. This was impossible. The people of the Dragon Palace were shocked. Even the people of the Thousand Dragon Dynasty were shocked. This kid's physique was actually so strong. Even the ancient desolate body was no match for the other party. Long Ao's expression changed drastically. He felt that he could not even use the strength of his entire arm. The strength of the other party's physique was really beyond his expectations. Damn it. Dragon energy slash. He spat out a terrifying dragon chi, which turned into a peerless radiance and slashed out. This was no ordinary dragon-containing chi. It was something that had been nurtured with dragon blood in her body. It was extremely terrifying. It was a peerless killing move. The power of this attack was not inferior to the attack of a great sage tool. Boom! Lin Xian's pupils shrank. He didn't expect the other party to have such an ultimate move. He used the skywalk step and quickly dodged. However, this attack still managed to envelop him. With a kacha sound, he coughed out blood and flew outwards, golden holy blood flowing out from his body. His body was shattered, and a large crack appeared. Even his internal organs could be seen. Oh no, Lin Xian was also injured. Countless people cried out in alarm once again. The people of the Divine Union were nervous, but the people of the Dragon Palace were clenching their fists. Great Crown Prince, kill him. Long Ao sneered. He was injured in one arm, but the other party was more seriously injured than him. His body was almost split in half. At the thought of this, he sneered. His body swayed, and he quickly charged forward. Now that Lin Xian was injured, he wanted to kill the other party directly. At the very least, he wanted the other party to be seriously injured and bedridden for a few hundred years. Seeing this, everyone's scalp went numb. The people of the Thousand Dragon dynasty laughed. The victor seemed to have been decided. Indeed, a dragon was a dragon, and a worm was a worm. It was impossible to surpass them. The purple-robed elder sneered as well. In the eyes of these elders, this battle was already over. The levitation saint was also surprised. He didn't expect Lin Xian to be defeated so quickly. Could there really be a difference? On the other side, the Yi family's divine general and the other family leaders all frowned. It seemed like the crown prince was superior. Was this really all his strength? Divine General Hai Yuan's eyes flickered. He didn't think so. He thought highly of Lin Xian. Kid, what are you going to use to fight me? Long Ao had already arrived before Lin Xian, his eyes filled with killing intent. My bloodline, my identity, and my background, are they something you can compare to? I can crush you with one hand. You're lucky to have so many people protecting you. Otherwise, you'd be dead by now. But even so, I'll severely injure you and cripple you. His eyes were filled with extremely cold killing intent. At the same time, his face was also pale. He didn't use the dragon chi slash. He had only cultivated 2 dragon chi slashes in his body. Unless it was absolutely necessary, he wouldn't use it. This one was already enough to injure him. His opponent didn't need to waste the last one. He was prepared to crush his opponent with his own hands. He raised his palm and released a terrifying aura before slamming it down mercilessly. Go to hell. Even a great sage would be torn to shreds by this attack. It's over. Many old family leaders shook their heads and sighed. Everyone thought that this battle was over. Lin Xian's eyes were filled with a sharp light. To be honest, the dragon chi slash did threaten him and hurt him. But so what? The moment he was injured, he used the immortality art to heal his injuries. In addition, his divine body was also a dazzling physique in the starry sky. This injury was nothing. Seeing the other party rushing in front of him, Lin Xian sneered. He waved his 2 arms and turned them into 2 peerless divine swords as he charged forward. Slash! Lin Xian was like a peerless war god. His terrifying sword chi was invincible. It pierced through his opponent's palm in an instant. How was this possible? Why was this sword chi so sharp? Long Ao was stunned. This had completely surpassed the power of the 9 suns body. How could he know that apart from the 9 suns divine body, Lin Xian also had the great dragon sword soul in his body? When this sword technique was used, it could tear the sky and split the earth. He was careless. He wanted to retreat, but it was too late. The speed of this sword was beyond his imagination. In an instant, Lin Xian's arms enveloped him. Boom, boom. His arms were like divine swords as they pierced into the other party's body, completely shattering his internal organs. Then Lin Xian's arms shook, and the sword chi exploded. Long Ao's body was directly torn into pieces under this attack. Heavens, how was this possible? What did I just see? The surrounding spectators were stunned. The patriarchs and clansmen stood up one after another. The Blue Clan's Wind Dragon patriarch was scared silly as he sat there in a daze. The people of the Thousand Dragon dynasty suddenly stood up and shouted angrily. This was impossible. Dragon slaying. Long Ao was torn into pieces, and the huge dragon phantom in the sky was also torn into pieces. Dragon blood roared between heaven and earth, sprinkling down from heaven and earth. This scene was too spectacular. Ha ha ha, well done. The crimson dragon roared, and the toad also roared, who said that we were inferior to dragons. He actually did it. Bai Susu and the others were shocked. Elder Hai Yuan's mouth curled into a smile. Little guy, you really didn't disappoint me. He felt more and more that Lin Xian was that person. You want to kill me? You can't do it. Lin Xian stood above the dragon blood that filled the sky like a demon god. A cold voice sounded. Chapter 4893. Between heaven and earth, dragon blood sprinkled down, piercing through the 9 heavens. Long Ao roared crazily. His soul became sinister and distorted. Damn it, you dare to hurt me. I want you to die. I want you to go to hell and never rise again. The killing intent on his body continued to erupt. At the same time, dragon blood condensed and restored his body. Kill. Long Ao's body had recovered, but there were some cracks that could not be completely healed. This shocked him, but he couldn't care less. Right now, he had to kill the other party to relieve the hatred in her heart. Buzz. At this moment, Long Ao's body had transformed into a 100-feet-long sea dragon. His blue scales illuminated the world. With a raise of his hand, he could summon clouds and rain. He was the son of the dragon sea lord, and his bloodline was powerful. Previously, he had transformed into his human form. At this moment, he was completely enraged and transformed into his true form. Kill, kill, kill. The dragon claws waved, and the dragon tail swept between heaven and earth. Long Hai's power erupted. A terrifying aura swept across heaven and earth. At the same time, he struck out with an apocalyptic attack. Dragon Chi Slash. It spat out a terrifying attack. Previously, it was this attack that injured Lin Xian and even split open Lin Xian's body. This time, it came out again. Facing the storm-like attacks, Lin Xian also took a deep breath. He didn't dodge at all. He was completely fighting with force. At the same time, he condensed a Taiji diagram to face the dragon Chi Slash. He wrapped his arms around it, and the Taiji diagram rotated in his hands, using softness to overcome hardness. The dragon Chi Slash landed on the Taiji diagram. However, it was completely enveloped by the rotating power and was unable to tear apart the Taiji diagram. In the end, it dissipated into the Taiji diagram. Even the dragon Chi Slash couldn't hurt Lin Xian. Countless people were shocked. Taiji Slash. Lin Xian waved his hand, and the Taiji diagram rotated and drew a sharp bolt of lightning directly slashing forward. Puff. Long Ao roared. Its tail was split open and fell down. Dragon blood. Once again dyed the 9 heavens red. Damn it, he was really angry. His huge body transformed into human form again, and then he attacked again. Dragon Rain 9 heavens. Wrath of the Sea God. Dragon Kill. Long Ao began to use the dragon race's great divine ability. And Earth. This was no ordinary rainwater. Every drop contained the laws of the Tao of the dragon. Even a great sage would be killed in body and soul if he were caught in the dragon rain. The wrath of the sea god caused the surrounding sea to fill with water. His opponent had truly transformed into the dragon sea god. The dragon slay was even more terrifying. His dragon claw carried the aura of a fiend god. It spun rapidly and tore apart the void, aiming for Lin Xian's heart and head. Each of the three consummate arts was enough to strike fear into the hearts of great sages, and the elders and clan leaders alike. Lin Xian took a deep breath in the face of these three terrifying ultimate techniques. Sword come. Behind him, the phantom of a sword dragon appeared and roared towards the sky. The dragon scales on his body rose from the ground and made a clanging sound in the sky. They quickly combined to form a dragon sword. Lin Xian grabbed it. He soared into the air, fighting above the 9 heavens. Shanlong, the divine sword formed from dragon scales, descended from the sky. Everywhere it passed, everything turned into ashes. This sword was really too powerful. The 3 consummate arts of the dragon race were turned into ashes under this sword. Before the sword arrived, many cracks had already appeared on Long Ao's body. They were like a spider web. Damn it! He wanted to resist, but his heart was filled with fear, and he subconsciously retreated. He was actually scared off by the other party. It was really too embarrassing. However, facing the sword, he was finally terrified. Saving his life was more important. He quickly retreated, but it was still too late. This sword enveloped him. No. His body split apart once again and was split into 2. Moreover, this sword even carried a biting cold aura that could destroy everything. Was he going to die? He didn't dare to believe it. What kind of sword technique was this? The pupils of an expert from the 10,000 Dragon Court constricted as he shouted coldly. A great sage instantly attacked and shattered the sword energy. It turned into dragon scales and disappeared between heaven and earth. You actually dare to kill. This expert from the 10,000 Dragon Court stood in the air and stared coldly at Lin Xian. The sword dragon illusion behind Lin Xian disappeared. He laughed. You think too much. There are so many experts here. Even the old ancestor is here. What kind of assassin can kill him? Even if you don't attack, this sword will disappear. Lin Xian was right. It was too difficult to kill the other party here. Furthermore, he didn't intend to do so. Defeating the other party in this battle was already a ruthless slap to the other party's face. How could the Dragon Palace compete with the Divine Union in the future? Long Ao, you keep saying that you will trample me under your feet. Have you done it? The facts have proven that you are just a clown. In the future, you won't have any right to be arrogant in front of me. Disappear from my sight. Otherwise, you will suffer a terrible fate. As he spoke, Lin Xian's eyes flashed with a terrifying light. Long Ao's blood boiled, and his soul kept shaking. Not good. The expert from the 10,000 Dragon Court shouted angrily. How dare you destroy his Dao heart? A cold, murderous intent appeared in his eyes. Lin Xian sneered. Is he worse than me? If he can't even accept defeat, what right does he have to take another step forward? You. Young man, don't be too arrogant. The expert from the 10,000 Dragon Court looked gloomy. The purple dress elder and the others were also gnashing their teeth. The others were also in an uproar. The outcome of this battle was really unexpected. No one had expected that the mighty Dragon Prince would be defeated by Lin Xian. Moreover, he had been defeated so miserably. How could this be? The people from the Dragon Palace were crying. The godlike figure in their eyes had actually been defeated. Moreover, he had been defeated by his opponent. Lanziu also knelt on the ground, her body trembling. She didn't even have the strength to stand up now. Her biggest reliance had been the Dragon Prince. However, the facts had proven that the Dragon Prince couldn't defeat Lin Xian. Was there any chance for her to take revenge in the future? The people from the Divine Union were in high spirits. This was great. Boss Lin was mighty. Lin Gongzi was #1 in the world. He was indeed the legendary Invincible Lin. Voices rang out one after another. The people from the Yi family were shocked. The eyes of the Yi family elders were also shining. Besides having the 9 young divine body, Lin Xian also had the great dragon sword soul. In the future, this young man would definitely compete with the emperor's son. They were very confident in their Yi Wudao. Yi Wudao had a sacred body and cultivated the emperor's scripture. He would definitely be able to compete with the disciples in the future. In their opinion, Lin Xian might be a little lacking. However, they had changed their minds. Lin Xian had the great dragon sword soul, which seemed to be able to make up for the lack of the emperor's scripture. This guy was so powerful. Didn't you say that he had participated in the Holy Gulf list? Why hadn't I seen his name before? Big Brother Yun was shocked. Divine General Haiyuan's eyes shone sharply. This could only mean one thing. He had not used his real name. He had used his title. It seemed like it was him. Divine General Haiyuan thought to himself. He was now 100% sure of it. Lin Xian was that person. Chapter 4894. The outcome of this battle shocked everyone. At the same time, many people were discussing it. Would the fantasy world patriarch change his mind? Previously, the patriarch had chosen Long Ao as his disciple. Now that Long Ao had been defeated, would the patriarch still accept him as a disciple according to the previous agreement? In an instant, everyone looked up. The people from the 10,000 Dragon Court also frowned. The purple-clothed elder and the others were even more nervous. They were talking about the patriarch. The fantasy world patriarch's eyes flickered, and an extremely terrifying aura erupted from his eyes. He looked down at Lin Xian and Long Ao and thought for a while before speaking coldly. He first looked at Lin Xian and said, "Young man, you're not bad. You have to walk your own path in the future." Then he looked at Long Ao. Failure was not scary. What was scary was having one's heart broken. After the banquet, follow me to the core area to cultivate. Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect the fantasy world patriarch to not change his mind. Could it be that the person in the immortal graveyard was really a curse that couldn't be broken? Long Ao was also shocked. He originally thought that he had no hope, but now it seemed that there was still hope. He hurriedly said respectfully, "Yes, patriarch, I definitely won't lose again." He turned to look at Lin Xian. "Losing to you this time was an accident. Just you wait. The next time I meet you, I will personally take revenge." With that, he walked forward. What else did the levitation saint want to say? However, the patriarch waved his hand to stop him. He could only sigh and hope that Lin Xian could accept this result. Lin Wan also turned and left. On the way back, he received countless questioning gazes. However, his expression remained calm. So what if he didn't enter the core area? To be honest, he really didn't want to enter because the fantasy world patriarch's gaze was too terrifying. If he stayed by the other party's side, the other party might discover his secrets. That would be troublesome. After returning, the people from the Divine Union were also nervous. They were afraid that Lin Xian wouldn't be able to hold on. Lin Xian smiled and said, "Don't look at me like that. I'm fine." Bai Susu said, "Kid, I know you're unhappy, but we'll understand." Lin Xian shook his head and smiled. He looked around and said, "Most of you are geniuses from large clans. You have enjoyed all kinds of golden spoils since birth. You will be respected and receive all kinds of resources. You can even reach out, and those natural treasures will come to you. But I'm different from you. I rose to power in the Dusty Lands, and everything along the way was exchanged with my life. I have fought all the way and never cowered. Along the way, countless people have looked down on me, but I've won again and again. I've walked from the dust to the present. I believe that I can go on." So, what if the person in the immortal burial ground was a curse? I don't want to walk the path of immortals. I want to walk my own path. Lin Xian's voice was firm and resolute. The people from the Divine Union were shocked. They hadn't expected Lin Xian to have such an experience. Just thinking about it was terrifying. Their families all had some worlds as subsidiary resources. The people in those worlds were just ants in their eyes. It was basically impossible for him to grow to the same height as them, not to mention standing above them and leading them. However, Lin Xian had walked out of such a place. How many hardships and setbacks had he gone through? Just thinking about it made their scalps go numb. At the same time, they also heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian had gone through too much, so this setback wouldn't be a problem. Big brother Lin, we believe in you. Yes, young master will lead us all the way. The people from the Divine Union clenched their fists. Lin Xian also smiled. Good. You believe in me, and I believe in you. I will lead you to the top of the world. Lin Xian turned around and looked at Xiang Zhoutian. I won't lose. Then he looked at the people beside him and smiled. I hope that the disciples of the Divine Union will never lose. His voice became louder and louder, piercing through the 9 heavens and spreading across the land. At that moment, the souls of the surrounding sages trembled, and they all turned to look. What kind of bold and visionary words were these? Yi Wudao smiled. It seemed like his old friend wasn't affected at all. The 2 war gods also nodded in satisfaction. The levitation saint also heaved a sigh of relief. On the side of the dragon palace, they frowned. The people from the 1,000 Dragon Dynasty had killing intent in their eyes. This guy didn't shrink back after such a setback. Instead, he became even stronger. This person had to be eliminated quickly, advance courageously, and never admit defeat. The old ancestor whispered, his eyes flickering. Long Ao, who was beside him, was nervous. He said, Old ancestor, please believe in me. I won't lose again. I will defeat him. The fantasy world ancestor waved his sleeves and left with Long Ao. The banquet also ended. Long Ao came to the core area and felt the terrifying power inside. He took a deep breath. The fantasy world ancestor brought him to a pagoda and said, This place is filled with resources. There are endless resources and power here. You can cultivate here. Thank you, old ancestor. Don't worry, I won't let you down. Long Ao was extremely excited. The fantasy world ancestor stood with his hands behind his back. Let's hope so. Your talent is unparalleled, but you are too arrogant and need to be tempered. Previously, when the Dragon Prince came to find me, he mentioned you and told me to take you as my disciple. Now that I've observed you, you are indeed not bad. Cultivate well and don't disappoint me and the Dragon Prince. So it was the Dragon Prince's suggestion. Long Ao clenched his fists. If not for the Dragon Prince, the disciple this time would have been Lin Xian. He took a deep breath. Although he had also become the Crown Prince, he couldn't even compare to the Dragon Prince's finger. This gap had once made him feel despair, but later on he swore that one day he would catch up to the Dragon Prince and even make this gap smaller and smaller. And that Lin Xian, just you wait. With the resources of the core area, my cultivation speed will be faster than before. When the time comes, you will definitely die. He would definitely get his revenge for what had happened today. On the other side, the guests all left. What happened at the banquet would spread all over the world. The people from the 1,000 Dragon Dynasty had cold expressions. Although there were twists and turns along the way, the final result was still satisfactory. Long Ao still became the old ancestor's disciple. It seemed like they had to go back to discuss and think of a way to deal with that Lin Xian. At the thought of this, they also left. The people of the Divine Union also returned to the spiritual abode to cultivate hard. The The result of this battle was that more and more people wanted to join the divine union. The strength that Lin Xian had displayed was too strong. He had already surpassed the Dragon Prince. Lin Xian's last sentence of never giving up and pressing forward courageously gave them endless hope. These people were eager to join. For a moment, Bai Susu and the others were all smiling. The Ocean Abyss Divine General and the other two found Lin Xian. You're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.